It is a hot and humid night here in Lexington, Kentucky, but the sellout crowd of nearly 70,000 doesn't seem to mind. They've come from all parts of the state to see one of the most unique and gifted players in the country. They're here for the big fella, Jared Lorenzen. Welcome to the 20th anniversary season of college football here on ESPN. We are happy to be at Commonwealth Stadium where for the 10th straight year, the Governor's Cup is on the line to begin the football season here in the Bluegrass State. Tonight it's the new look Louisville Cardinals taking on the new look Wildcats of Kentucky. Hello everybody and welcome to Lexington. I'm Eric Collins and we'd love to tell you that we have a wonderful night for football, but so far, well, we do not. We have a little bit of weather coming into the area, and with more, let's go down to the field and Heather Cox.
Well, guys, a thunderstorm was expected any minute. It just started seconds ago. This thunderstorm, accompanied by lightning, is expected to last at least 30 to 45 minutes. They have advised that the crowd evacuate the stadium. They have sent the players into the locker room. They advised that all the crowd disperse to the cars outside of the stadium, anywhere safer. They will wait until the lightning passes. They won't wait for the rain to end. But again, they do anticipate that that will be at least 30 to 45 minutes before the lightning does subside. Once it does, they'll allow the players back on the field, give them about 5 to 15 minutes to warm up, and then we will finally kick off. Back to you, Eric.
Thanks a lot, Heather. Well, I guess the folks here in the Bluegrass State have already waited 9 months for football. Maybe they can wait another half hour.
They don't want to, though, trust me.
I'm Eric Collins alongside John Salisbury. John, right down to it. Have you ever been in a delay like this before?
I have not, because in the old days it was if it rained and there was a storm, you dealt with it. But in light of what's happened and the seriousness of lightning, you got to get them out of the stadium. And the ironic thing is that umbrellas are not allowed in Commonwealth Stadium, so people are getting out, getting rained on. But it is no laughing matter when it comes to the lightning. And we'll get this game in. It's just going to take a little bit longer.
Now, when we do get this game in, obviously there's going to be a lot of football to talk about simply because both these teams have changed so much in the offseason for both Louisville and Kentucky. They have brand new head coaches, new offensive and defensive coordinators, new philosophies. But there's going to be one thing that's going to remain the same, and that one thing is a big one. It's the big one himself, Jared Lorenzen.
Yeah, and Lorenzen has bought into what Rich Brooks is teaching here at Kentucky. And they haven't had a lot of discipline or accountability here on this football team. But when your leader and your best football player decides to take a weight that was over 300 pounds in this game last year and get it down to 285, there's a commitment, and the rest of the team's following. They like this staff here at Kentucky.
Now, Sean, if you're talking about discipline, there's no doubt about it. Lorenzen's going to get it this year from the new man on the sideline for the Kentucky Wildcats. Rich Brooks, he's been there and he's done that. He's been in this business as a head coach for 20 years. A lot of times in the collegiate level, but also in the NFL.
Yeah, and so he brings a little taste of both with his staff also. But Rich Brooks is a disciplinarian. Where Rich Brooks comes from is a guy who there's no casual stuff. This is all serious business. They don't want mediocrity here at the University of Kentucky. That's why he came out of retirement to come back here and do this. He thinks they can win, but the discipline that he brings to this program is something the players say they definitely need to play in this conference.
Now, in terms of experience, Sean, the total opposite of the spectrum would be the new coach for the Louisville Cardinals, Bobby Petrino. He's never been a head coach anywhere before. Today, he'll get his first start against such a grizzled veteran in Rich Brooks.
Yeah, what Coach Petrino brings is a fire. These guys, when you hear him talk about Bobby Petrino, it's man alive. At training camp, things were different. We're a little more casual than in the past. Now, we're fiery. We go. The tempo that they set for this team, where you'd normally get 20 to 25 plays in a 7-on-7 period in 10 minutes, they're in 15 to 20 minutes. They're running over 40 plays. So the tempo in Louisville has changed, as has that discipline. This team was also crying for it because it's a very young team.
Sean, I want to get your personal perspective on this. Of course, you spent so much time as a 3-year starter at USC. You spent a decade in the NFL. But this situation with the weather that we're having is so unique. What would the coaches right now be talking about with their players?
Well, you know what? I don't think you want to make too big a deal of it. Bottom line is that Denny Green, who was my coach in Minnesota, always told us it doesn't matter if the food's cold, if the bus is late, regardless of what goes on. We still got a football game to play. He'll probably tell them to relax. There's not going to be any overbearing speeches. The guys are going to be probably banging lockers to get out and play. The key here is to remain calm, get your final thoughts to yourself, and get ready to play, because bottom line is this game's going to be finished. It's just a matter of if it's at 9:30, at 12:30. But I don't think either coach in either locker room makes too big a deal over this. It's just one of those things. They've waited, like you said, the open 9 months. Hey, we'll wait again to tee it up.
This series, they play for the Governor's Cup, and throughout the years, they have had just absolute wacky games between these two schools, just 80 miles apart. And well, today, we have wacky weather. We're in a delay. Lightning is in the area, but we will play football eventually. Stick around, everybody.
Question, how do you keep this team focused with the 70-minute delay?
There's nothing unusual about this rivalry, and that includes the weather. So, hey, they have to go through it. We have to go through it. Now we're ready to play. Let's get on with it. How
does your game plan change? Do you go a little bit more to the ground with the soggy conditions?
Well, ball security becomes a major factor now with the wet, slick field and obviously moisture on the ball. So the team that hangs on to the ball early is going to be in the best shape.
Coach, congratulations and good luck. The Rich Brooks era finally begins here at Kentucky.
Yeah, thanks, Heather. Well, Rich Brooks knows a thing or two about rain after spending 18 seasons with the Oregon Ducks. Well, both teams in the middle of the field talking things over. The captains are. And, well, remember, folks, this is an annual thing. 10 consecutive years now these teams have played. And last year, well, we had a barn burner at Papa John's Stadium in Louisville. Early on, all Kentucky. Here's Ernest Sims taking Lorenzen Pass 64 yards. But then here comes the Cardinals. Ragone hits his man 16-7 at that point. The Cardinals still trail, but the kickoff to begin the second half goes to Broderick Clark. 100 yards later, he's in there, but then again, too much left leg from the Kentucky Wildcats. The field goal there ices it. Begley makes the field goal to make the final score 22-17. And with that win, Kentucky really kind of put a dagger in the heart of the Louisville Cardinals season last year.
They sure did, and that sets the tone. And when you talk to the players, and you and I both did this week, talking to them, they say this sets the tone for their whole season. It can either be a positive one or a negative, and that also goes with this game. Aside from ball control and being able to keep the ball in your hands and not turn it over, neither one of these head coaches have any idea how the team's going to respond to adversity, and it will happen a bunch of times in this game for both. Now, if the team that responds best will be the team that wins a football game, because they don't know, because all they've seen is practice. And now that the real ones are flying, Rich Brooks and Bobby Petrino are going to find out just how they respond to the bad part of this game.
Jared Lorenzen has an outside chance of being an All-American this year. How is the delay going to affect this guy who started now for 4 consecutive seasons?
Oh, it shouldn't. He's been in rain before. He's been in good weather, bad weather, hot weather. I don't think it'll bother Lorenzen at all. He's got attitude, and I mean that positive. He's a leader of this team. He is voted team captain. He's taken the responsibility. I fully expect it to be an offensive advantage because the receivers know where they're going, and the defensive backs have to react. Look for Lorenzen to come out throwing and won't be afraid to do that in this football game.
UK won the toss. They deferred. University of Louisville, they will take the ball first, and that man's going to be underneath center for the very first time as a starting quarterback in Division I.
Yeah, and what this will be is Louisville's a running team that wants to mix in the pass, while Kentucky's a pass that'll mix in a run. You're going to use Eric Barton in the backfield. We'll talk more about him. And then LaFleurs, it's his first start. He's got himself an opportunity to show what he can do. He's been waiting a long time to get this opportunity.
We will put toe to leather in a moment. The kickoff when we return. Stick around. For the victor of the Bluegrass State gets a trophy that's called the Governor's Cup. That goes to the winner last year. The Kentucky Wildcats, they took it home after losing 2 consecutive seasons to the Louisville Cardinals. They have possession of the Governor's Cup. They'd like to keep it. Now, this series dates back to 1912. The very first 6 meetings were all won by the Kentucky Wildcats. They never allowed the Cardinals to score a point. They stopped the series for 70 years. Now they're back playing again, and this is the 10th consecutive year they begin the season by playing each other. That's Broderick Clark, and we will be talking about him the entire game. He's so exciting. Last year, almost 29 yards per kickoff return. All that was second best in the entire country, and he turned one back last year.
29 yards is ridiculous, Eric. That's unbelievable. This will be a fun one, man. Let's get it on.
It helps when you have a 100-yarder to begin the season. That's Clint Ruth getting ready to kick it off, and there it goes. Finally. Football is being played in Lexington, Kentucky. Kickoff will be touched back, and we will start at the 20-yard line And the left-hander replacing Dave Ragone, Stephon LaForce, steps onto the field for the first time as a starter.
Yeah, not only that, but in his career, he's only thrown 16 passes, completed 8 of them. And this is a university that's known for its passing quarterbacks. His key is good leadership and wonderful with his feet, and he'll have to make some plays out of the pocket. Accuracy is at a premium for this young man tonight.
The last time Stephon LaForce started a game, he was at Christian Life Academy in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He is a redshirt freshman, 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. Just like Dave Ragone last year, he is a left-hander. Behind him in the backfield, Eric Shelton. We will talk about him the entire game. He is electric, a transfer from Florida State. Play action on the first play. LaForce out to his left and no good. The pass sailed high. Attempted for Richard Owens. Let's take a look at the support positions behind him for LaForce. Shelton, he's a transfer from Florida State. He was all everything coming out of Lexington just a couple of seasons ago. Tinch, Clark, good veteran wideouts, and Gent is a good tight end, all-conference USA, 3 consecutive seasons. LeFew and Foster, 2 huge tackles on the ends. The captain in the middle is Dan Coons. Michael Bush has checked into the game. We're expecting big things from Michael Bush today. He'll be a part of a lot of the trick play packages, off-tackle run, and nothing doing there. It'll be a long 3rd down for the Louisville Cardinals. Let's take a look at the Kentucky defense. They're playing a 3-4 this year. Ellery Moore, the big man in the middle. Vincent Sweet Pea Burns on the end. He's got a motor that just doesn't stop. The linebackers, well, there's some concern there. The middle guys are really green. They haven't played a lot at the Division I level. That's Summerall and Haydock. In the backfield, Barres is a corner. The other corner, Flowers, in the middle. That's their strength with Williams and Abdullah. 3rd down, 10 yards to go. This is not the situation that LaForce wanted to be in. 3 wideouts in the game. Russell, Tinch, and Clark. LaForce drops back, has a man. Tough play. What do we have? Complete Broderick Clark, and that'll move the chains, and that's got to do wonders for the confidence of LaForce.
Nothing bad. 3rd down and long yardage. You give him a 3-step drop and throw a man-to-man fade. It's the best you can ever hope for here on the screen. Man-to-man coverage. He sees it, throws it out there. Pass number 18 is complete. Nice job by putting it where his man can get it. The DB late reacted on the football, was looking at the receiver instead of the ball. Got to find a football. Wonderful throw by LaForce to get this thing going on 3rd down.
After 2 plays of nothing, a gain of 31 yards for the Cardinals. 1st and 10. Ball now on the 49-yard line. LaForce hands it off. There's the big fella. Shelton with room. Powers for the 1st down and more. Eventually brought down by Vincent Burns, but not before a gain of 14.
Their defensive coordinator, Kentucky's, that is, Mike Archer, was concerned about this very thing. A 6'3", 245-pound body that can run, and we talked to him a couple days ago. You talk about a guy who's focused and hungry to show what he can do, and you're going to see a lot of that tonight between the tackles, them trying to tackle a guy who's the size of a linebacker.
It's a guy who hasn't played in 2 seasons after transferring from Florida State, but he's playing in front of friendly faces. He's from here in Lexington. Another 1st down. This time ball rests on the 34. Shelton's going to give it a go again, and another strong run. This time he's gang tackled out of bounds after a gain of 7.
Wonderful vision by Shelton, too, for a guy who hasn't been on the field much. Been out of football, redshirting last year. Have a look at the inside. We're going to bounce it on the outside. Nice job of busting back up inside. And notice the pads, Eric, going north and south. It's an overused term, but you have to use it for this guy because tendency is when you've been out of football for a while and redshirted is to dance. That's not his game. Averaging 10.5 yards on 2 carries, and I guarantee Louisville likes that start.
Sean, we were told that he's a combination of Jerome Bettis and T.J. Duckett, and so far they were right on the money.
Charles Atlas, too.
2nd down and 3 now. LaForce thinking about a throw. Throws it low. Does he have a man? They're going to call it a catch. Yes, indeed. It's J.R. Russell, close to the 1st down marker. Gain of 2.
Now, for a guy who doesn't have a lot of experience, LaForce at quarterback, this is a very, very good, smart play. When he drops back to pass, he looks down the field. It's not there on a 3-step. Just throw it to your man in the flat. Get yourself positive yards. He was able to come out of that first 3rd and 10 backed up. This one, you put it in short yardage situation. This is very manageable, obviously, for Louisville.
Call it 3rd and 1. Handoff goes to Shelton. He's got the 1st and more. Finally brought down by Justin Haydock, but not before the chains move and the confidence grows for LaForce.
Here it is again, third carry now for Shelton. Taking the ball, going to run outside here. Just dips, nice bounce play, gets a good lead block. All he needs is half a yard, punches it through first down. And another thing Mike Archer, the defensive coordinator Kentucky, was worried about is those 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. He said we've got to win on 1st and 2nd down because 3rd and 8 is tough to manage for an offense. That's how you win football, by 3rd and a half yard. Nice job by Shelton again.
Shelton already with 26 yards on 3 carries. He's replaced by Lionel Gates in the backfield. Gates gets it right out of the chute, and he's got room. A gain of about 5, make it 6, and it looks like whoever takes the ball right now from LaForce has a massive hole to run through.
No question, and Deion Holtz had a chance to make that tackle, 64, running through, got his arms on it, but got his arms on Gates, but couldn't bring him down. Another positive gain. If we go through this game and look at 2nd and 5s and 3rd and 4s this whole game for Louisville, I can guarantee you Bobby Petrino and that offensive staff is going to be very happy.
Michael Bush is checked into the game, the heralded freshman from Louisville Male High School. 2nd down and 5. Bush is number 19. Keep an eye on him. LaForce over the middle. Brought down, but not before another first down. Gain of 11. Catch made by Joshua Tinch. Joshua Tinch, a Rick Pitino favorite. Spent last season playing on the basketball team and showing off some good football skill here.
Nice job making a quick decision, just an inside slant route. You mentioned Bush, who was on the outside. Tinch gets inside. If you let a man beat you inside on coverage, he's going to get the ball every time, and it's a big mismatch. Holtz was on the coverage, a linebacker against the receiver.
First down and goal to go. Ball on the 5-yard line. Shelton back in the game. He has the handoff right up the gut. He's battling, and he's not going to quite get there, but it's just about a biscuit short of the touch. Gain of 4, ball down on the 1-yard line. Sean, this has got to be an absolute dream for LaForce.
Well, not only for LaForce, but you coming on the road in bad weather. You hope that your quarterback and your team can respond to this, to the delay and everything else. They've marched it right down the field, getting a couple 3rd downs, and the big fella's up front to control the line of scrimmage. Dream for these guys right now.
Flags fly before the snap, and what do we have? It looks like it's going to be against the Louisville Cardinals. It's going to be a false start.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense. 5 yards, it's still 2nd down.
We have a Big Ten crew of referees. That's Stephen Payman, just barked out the last penalty call, and there's Bobby Petrino, who's got to be just in heaven. His first drive to the head coach, and look what's happening.
Yeah, but that'll drop you down to a different layer of heaven by getting a penalty when you're inside the 1-yard line. Don't put your team in that situation.
2nd down now. Ball on the 6-yard line. Shelton with room. Shelton with the touchdown. 6 points for the Cardinals right out of the gate.
You like advertisement? You get it. How about that? Number 32, you're not going to get him running outside. You're going to get great movement up in front. Shelton's going to just follow the gap and get it inside after a costly penalty. Little draw play. Nice movement by the offensive line. First guy's having a hard time bringing this big fella down. That is a huge, huge start for Louisville.
Nate Smith trying for the point after touchdown, and Nate Smith splits the uprights, and a perfect drive draws to a close for the Louisville Cardinals. After a massive delay, their mutter, Eric Shelton, takes it to the house. We'll be back with Kentucky's first possession in a moment. Petrino's crew from Louisville did not miss a beat. They came out on fire. 11 plays, 80 yards, capped off by Eric Shelton's 6-yard touchdown run. Shelton was everything on that drive. Well, hoping to be everything this year in the special teams department for the Kentucky Wildcats is Derek Abney. There he is hiding behind Drake Davis, which is difficult to do considering Davis is just 5'7". But Abney, everything, all SEC, All-American last year as a returner. All he did was return 6 kicks for scores in his career. He's now returned 7 for scores, and that is 1 behind the NCAA all-time record. We'll get the kickoff from Wade Talachka.
I got a good idea. Don't kick it to number 12 if you have any clue if you're Louisville. You don't want momentum to switch right now.
Abney's a senior from Wisconsin. He's not going to get the ball this time. It'll be Drake Davis, the transfer. with a whole lot of quicks, gets it out to the 25-yard line, and I'm sure the Louisville Cardinals are happy giving it on the 25 as opposed to kicking it to Abney. Well, there he is, the big fellow we talked about so much as we preceded this game, Jared Lorenzen. This is his 4th consecutive year as the starting quarterback.
Not bad for a guy who everybody said, oh, he's too big and can't move around. He's got, watch his feet tonight at 285 pounds. He's very nimble. He buys a lot of time in the pocket. He's this team's captain, and he's responded well to Rich Brooks this offseason, his new head coach.
Lorenzen under center. Behind him, Drake Davis and Alexi Bagingi. Bagingi is the fullback. The give is to Drake Davis. The little dynamo goes forward for about 4 yards. And let's meet the Kentucky offense. Backs and receivers. We talked about Davis and his fullback. There's Abney. They're trying to make him as exciting a receiver as he has been a returner. He is the main split end.
Keep an eye on Keenan Burton, too. Will be a star. He's a true freshman.
There the offensive line. The All-American candidate is Antonio Hall. He was All-SEC as a tackle last season. Shane Boyd is now in the game. He's the backup quarterback.
Right here, number 7 in the slot. They'll use him at quarterback, running back, and wide receiver.
They'll use him much like they use Michael Bush for the Louisville Cardinals. Lorenzen getting out of pressure, tries to throw with his right arm, and the lefty may be called for in the grasp. Flag is down at his feet as he gets up. What do we have?
It sure as heck shouldn't be intentional grounding because Shane Boyd was running a crossing route, an underneath route, and Lorenzen threw it right to him just over his head. It was right around the area he needed to throw it. Got to pick that up.
Disregard the flag. There's no foul on the play. The quarterback was outside of the tackle, and the ball went beyond the line of scrimmage.
When he said when the official's talking about outside the tackle, it means outside that tackle box, and we can draw it. It's got to be here and here if he's going to be able to throw it away, and he does just that, and he's got to throw it beyond the line of scrimmage. We talked about nimble of foot. He's not going to win anybody or beat anybody in a race, but he sure is tough to bring down when you can't get your arms around 285 pounds. That's an offensive guard who's athletic. I love that.
It was the junior Marcus Jones with the pressure. 3rd down and 5. Lorenzen from the shotgun. Moving to his left, has a man wide open is Davis, and an easy 1st down.
Give me that.
And a gain of 10 for the Wildcats. Finally brought down by Gavin Smart.
Talked about athleticism. Watch this big fella come back and step up right here with his head up the field, not looking at the rush, but feeling it. Nice little dump off, 1st down. Get that ball in that little fella's hands. You got a chance. That's a nice job by Lorenzen, feeling what's going on and keeping his head up the field. A lot of guys, young quarterbacks, look at the rush. Lorenzen's been here long enough now to feel the rush.
1st down and 10 so far. The offenses have had their way after a long delay to get this game started. Lorenzen doesn't like something that he sees and has to call timeout and talk things over with his new coach, Rich Brooks. We'll take a timeout with him. 8:19 remaining. Louisville on top of UK 7-zip. Lexington. And, well, Sean, we just saw Jared Lorenzen, a 4-year starter, call a timeout in the very first drive. What's there to be confused about?
I don't think it was Lorenzen. You saw him come off the field a little irritated and very vocal about the fact that either somebody lined up wrong, somebody didn't break the huddle properly. There was probably a formation situation. Comes over there and takes care of it. But a smart move. Take that timeout. Don't take a penalty and go back 5 yards or get yourself where you snap the ball and you get in a bad play. That's a smart move, and it's a new staff. Remember now, they've been in the locker room for a long time. New staff. That's bound to happen. Better that than to delay a game at the line of scrimmage to cost you 5 yards.
1st down and 10, ball on the 40-yard line. Single back behind Lorenzen, and he'll give it to him. That's Drake Davis, the little fella. Tries the middle and gains about 2 yards, maybe 3. Let's take a look at the Louisville defense. Last year they had a little bit of trouble. They're still young on the front 4. Scott Lopez is the only senior. Take a look at the linebackers. The captain, Robert McCune, in the middle. Rod Day's a good performer. Brandon Johnson getting a chance to play. He's from Birmingham, Alabama. In the backfield, the corners, Gavin Smart, Josh Minkins, who's got the most experience. The safeties, Johnson and Rhodes.
There it is now. That's a quarterback, Shane Boyd. Out here's Lorenzen. We're going to see this more than once. Lorenzen at wide receiver. Boyd, the great athlete, checking off at the line of scrimmage. That's 295-pound receiver up top there. 285, he says.
Boyd looking to throw it, and it's picked off. Going the other way is Gavin Smart, and Gavin Smart has a chance. Out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. The man who threw it brought it down, and a golden opportunity for the Louisville Cardinals after a little bit of chicanery for the Wildcats.
But it's not just trying to fool them. Rich Brooks told us, their head coach, that this is just not a gimmick. This is, we're going to run this and make it happen, but this is not the way you want to start it. It comes right out here. Boyd looked like he checked off, held the ball too long on a 3-step drop. Can't throw it. You look where you're throwing it. That's a sign of a guy who hadn't played much quarterback. Stares down where he's throwing it, hits the flat coverage. Nice job by Smart. Now, if you're Rich Brooks, you say, we were going pretty good. What do we do now? Do we go back to that formation? I think they like it enough where they're going to use it again. But Mr. Shane Boyd's got to be a little bit smarter with his arm and with his eyes.
First and goal. LaForce hands it off to the big fella, and Shelton is brought down quickly. And it'll be second down and goal for Bobby Petrino's crew.
Eric, I'll tell you, the turnovers will decimate a football team faster than anything. And especially when you've worked on something, they worked on these things, this formation change and putting Boyd at quarterback so hard and so long. The last thing you want is that to happen, an interception to get it inside the red zone. Now we'll see how Kentucky responds to some adversity.
LaForce, play action, has a man wide open. The fullback, DJ Kamer, with his first touchdown. And just like that, it is a 13-0 lead for the Cardinals, and this is not the way that things were supposed to go if you're a Kentucky Wildcat
And here's
fan.
exactly why, Eric, to another Eric. When you've got 32 and he's been so successful in the backfield, just give him a little play fake. People want to tackle him. LaForce breaks contain. That's shooting fish in a barrel. I've never done it before, but I imagine it'd be pretty easy.
Nate Smith is now 2 for 2 with points after touchdown, and it is 14-0 with 6:48 remaining in the first quarter. LaForce having a great debut here in Lexington. 14-0 lead. We had an 83-minute delay, and so far, well, the delay has not been kind to the Kentucky Wildcats, but it's been very nice to the folks wearing the white uniforms. There's Derek Abney and Drake Davis again to go back. This will be the second time they will get back and try and field this kickoff from Wade Talachka.
And you know why they do that? You see Abney and Davis stacking because you want to try to fool Louisville's kick team so they can't always kick away from Abney. See how they're lined up? You don't want them to know which way Abney's going to go, so Louisville can't always kick away from. See if they fool them now with the way they're lined up.
Once again, Abney with his next return for a touchdown. He will tie an all-time NCAA record. This time he'll get his hands on it. For the first time all season, Abney with the football in open field. And Abney with a chance. Out to the left on the sideline, and Abney brought down by his collar. A great return finally brought down by Dominique Dunbar after a gain of 48 yards. And Sean, he is so electric.
Why you don't kick to him, and a great job by special teams to put him in position to get it, because you've talked about where you want to kick it in the huddle on defense, on the kicking team. So when he goes to the right, it was a return left for Kentucky, and bam, he kicks it right to him. Nice job. Now Louisville, remember, they've already called where they're going to kick it. So Abney goes over to the left, guesses right, then does a nice job using the stiff arm and getting it out there past midfield. Those are the things you have to do to change momentum when you're down 14-0 and coming off a critical turnover in the last offensive series.
Abney from Mosini, Wisconsin.
There he is
high
again.
school. Desmond Howard is doing great things for the Packers.
Shane Boyd in that slot. The man who just threw the interception. Best athlete on this football team.
Jared Lorenzen looks like he wants to throw it, and he'll have no time at all to get it off as Marcus Jones is all over him. A loss on the play. Marcus Jones gets his first sack of the season and his 5th in his career at Louisville.
There you see, again, Lorenzen talking to Boyd. He comes over here, wants a 3-step, wants to throw it to Boyd, holds the ball too long. If you can't get it out of your hand, the second that back foot hits the ground as a quarterback on a 3-step drop, that takes too long. Well, that might have been a line sack. Even more so than that, it's the pass coverage and the fact that the quarterback can't hold the ball on a 3-step drop.
Drake Davis, the deep man behind Lorenzen. 2nd and 15 now. They give it to the up man. But Gingy is swarmed. He'll have a nominal game before he's brought down by the hammer, Robert McCune.
You want to know what will put a smile on a coach's face, a big time? If you're Louisville's defense, and we talked about Mike Archer, the defensive coordinator on the other side of the field. Well, if you're Louisville, guess what? You love this. Ain't many plays in the playbook that can get you a first down with that. You got to be kind of lucky with that. They will tee off and allow them to catch the ball underneath them and make a tackle.
3 wideouts, Burton, Abney, and Holt in the game. Lorenzen from the gun. Has time. Pocket starting to collapse. Lorenzen with those good feet gets his man. Abney with the reception and a first down for the Wildcats. Gain of 15.
I've been asked the question a bunch if Lorenzen could play on Sundays. Yeah, he can play with everything. Gets down maybe 10 or 12, 15 more pounds. There's a no-brainer. Tough to bring down with the first guy. Does a nice job of just buying time. And then his vision. Have a look right down here. Boom, step up here and get out here. Keep your head up the field, big fella. Careful not to go past the line of scrimmage, but his vision's down the field. That's a sign of a quarterback who understands the passing game.
They give us to Drake Davis. He tries left end. Flag comes down. Not much of a gain. We'll have to see what we had. So far, the sledding's been tough for the youngster Drake Davis, playing his first game for the Kentucky Wildcats. There are actually 2 flags down on the field, so they have to sort it out.
Illegal formation on the offense. Face mask on the defense. Penalties offset. Replay, first down.
Let's send it back to Bristol, Connecticut, and Reese Davis.
Eric, we saw how dangerous Derek Abney can be, but Texas has a guy who can return kickoffs as well against New Mexico State. This is Selvin Young. Selvin Young has logged on, and he is part of the Gone Network. 97 yards. He houses it, gets Texas even with the Aggies of Tony Samuel, and then, want me to get that? The governor, Cedric Benson, taking it in, horns up 2 touchdowns.
Thanks a lot, Reese. And, well, once again, we had the chicanery. There's Shane Boyd taking the snap from center. And Shane Boyd, some tough sledding going on as he tries to escape the pressure. There'll be a loss on the play as he's brought down by Rod Day.
Well, so far, defensive coordinator Mike Gilhammer of Louisville has a pretty good idea when Lorenzen goes out wide and Shane Boyd is the quarterback. He's defended it well twice. Here's the big fella coming down to make a block. I know he's a better blocker than that. That's why he plays under center most of the time. But when you're that big, all you got to do is get in front of somebody. There's Mike Gilhammer, defensive coordinator, coming over here. Bobby Petrino, his head coach. Mike was excited about this game, too.
Lorenzen back under center. Shane Boyd, the backup quarterback, is now split out wide to the right. Lorenzen to throw on second down. Trying to set up a middle screen, and oh, that was almost a disaster. Almost picked up by Tyrone Satterfield, but the ball goes through the wickets, and it'll be another 3rd down and long.
You got to be. Here's Boyd coming inside. Looking for the football, doesn't get it. Almost throws it right to the defensive lineman. That right there has got to be a better block. Put your quarterback in a bad way, forces the ball, and Lorenzen knows better than that. But Bowingy knows better than to try to cut a guy where he jumps over you. Get up in his face, protect your quarterback.
3rd down and 12. Ball's on the 37-yard line. Chris Bernard comes in as an extra wide receiver. Lorenzen to throw. Under duress. Lorenzen throws, and the ball is brought down. A sensational catch.
I think he dropped it, Eric.
Did he? Oh,
yeah,
I thought he
knocked it away.
It was intended for Abney, but Abney not able to bring it into his chest. And that'll bring on 4th down and long. And that'll bring on the punt team.
A lot of pressure inside. We talked about the play before where Bowingy had to block and put under pressure, put Lorenzen under pressure. Once again, they're getting good pressure from their front 7. Almost a wonderful catch by Abney. But they needed to answer with points.
Seven Sekurovich will come on and attempt his first punt of the season and his first punt ever.
And look who the up back is. Shane Boyd. Think he can do a little bit?
Sekurovich gets it high. And the ball is not caught. It went through the hands of a Cardinal. And they're saying it didn't touch him. And it's down on the 1-yard line. Back on the field is Eric Shelton. He scored the first touchdown of the game, and well, he's used to scoring touchdowns in the city of Lexington. He played high school football here at Bryan Station High School, and he was all everything, scoring 59 touchdowns and rushing for almost 5,000 yards in his career. He went to Florida State originally, but as a freshman, he was stuck behind Nick Maddox and Greg Jones, and he transferred back to his home state, but didn't go to the Wildcats. Instead, he went to Louisville.
And you take a look at his body in high school as opposed to now. I slapped him on the arm the other day, and I about blew out my own rotator cuff. So there's a different man there.
You got a bruise on your hand.
Yes, sir.
First down and 10, pinned inside the 5. LaForge trying to throw out of it, and he wants it all. Heading deep, and his man is brought down, gang tackled, and they're going to have a penalty flag on the field. The pass was intended for J.R. Russell, and Leonard Barres tackled his man.
Disregard the flag. There's no foul on the play. The pass was ruled uncatchable.
Take a look, and why not if you're Louisville? You're backed up. Good job by Bobby Petrino calling this. Stretch him out. You get man coverage, and you say, is that pass interference? No. Watch the football land out of bounds. Not half, well, just inbounds, but out of reach, should I say. And if it's not a catchable ball, it's not pass interference. That was a rule by the officials, and a good call.
So second down and 10. The big back Shelton is the deep man in the backfield, and he has the football, and there's not much there at all. It'll be 3rd and long inside their own 5.
And Eric, you know what happens when you do what you did on first down if you're Louisville and throw the ball deep? You have a human nature is to back off now if you're Kentucky. So let's back off a little bit. Back off. Now the underneath pass becomes even better, and you got a bigger chance. I like the fact that Bobby Petrino challenges it. And then you got 32 Eric Shelton to go to. Great. I mean, top flight All-American in high school. Left, you know, to come out here and get himself an opportunity. He looks pretty good for a guy who sat out a year, doesn't he?
Just fell in the lap of Bobby Petrino when he took over for John L. Smith back in December. LaForge on the draw as Shelton, and Shelton close to the first down. He's brought down by his ankles. Mike Williams on the stop, and I think they're going to be just shy, but they may have to measure.
On the carry, Mike Williams on the stop. Gain of 7 yards.
They're not even going to measure. They'll bring on the punt team. That is his 4th down and 1. Bobby Petrino none too pleased that he couldn't even get a measurement.
It's like Bobby's arguing over the call. He said that's a terrible call on the first down play, but it was out of reach. I don't think the guy would have got to it if even if he wouldn't have been touched.
Wade Talachka with his first punt of the season. High snap. Talachka brings it down. Angles it towards the right side away from Abney and all the way out of bounds. So Abney not with a chance on that occasion. Well, Labor Day weekend kickoff presented by Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield continues tomorrow at noon Eastern. Gino Guidugli and the Cincinnati Bearcats host the East Carolina Pirates. Then at 8 o'clock Eastern, top NFL quarterback prospect J.P. Losman and the Tulane Green Wave welcome the defending Conference USA champion TCU Horned Frogs to the Louisiana Superdome. Jared Lorenzen and the Wildcats will get another opportunity. And Sean, do you think that maybe sometimes they're being a little bit too cute for their own good?
Probably, but the reason you do that early on in a football game, and it doesn't have to look good doing it, the reason you do that is to make Louisville defend the whole field and change some of their defensive schemes.
This is the second time that they will start in Louisville territory. First time they didn't get it done. And this time on first down, Lorenzen is absolutely hog-tied, thrown to the ground, and it may have been too rough for the officials' liking. Flag comes down. They will indeed get penalized with the Louisville Cardinals.
After the play was over, personal foul on the defense for a late hit. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And I'm going to tell you what causes that. Is that the few times they've tried to get to Lorenzen, they tackled him once, but he stepped out of it. So what do you do out of frustration? You say, not this time, big man. I'm going to drag you to the ground. You get a little overly aggressive. You slam him to the ground. And remember, when it's a quarterback, no matter what level, they are going to protect him. Short of putting a red jersey on quarterbacks nowadays, that's how they're going to protect them. You just cannot slam a man to the ground that late. And that's a huge penalty because it now increases better field position, a little bit of momentum for Kentucky.
Takes the ball all the way down to the 30-yard line. Lorenzen changing the play at the line. Abney's off to his right. Lorenzen fakes the handoff, throws out wide to his safety valve. And was the catch made? Yes, they're going to call it a catch. Alexi Bagingi makes the reception, gain of 4. It'll be second down at 6.
Whew. Good catch by Bagingi and a good decision to at least get yards. But tight end was running right down the middle of the field free as a quarterback up here. It's great up here because I don't have to throw it. I can sit here and second guess till the cows come home, can't I? But positive yards. You're in 2nd and 6, which is good if you're an offensive team.
Under a minute to play first period. Lorenzen 3 for 6 in this first quarter for 30 yards. Has a man open deep and he can't hit him. Pass a little bit too high. And he tried to go to his tight end, Jeremiah Drobny, but this time the pass just a little bit too hard.
I'm going to tell you what happened, if I'm guessing right, is that after that play, the people upstairs and the offensive coordinator said, hey, the tight end was running scot-free after a play-action fake. Let's give a little look-see at him this time, and he did. He got man coverage, probably just a little late, but also just a tad high. See the arc of the football coming way up here? If he throws it this way, we got a little bit better chance. One more time. Just give me a drop shot right there. Throws a little too high, too much air. But they saw something. You get man coverage on a tight end. Took a good shot. Once again, Boyd's in the game. That's that versatile quarterback.
Lorenzen to throw on 3rd down. Again, good pressure from the Cardinals, and Lorenzen gets out of it somehow. Lofts it up and too much on the throw. He had a touchdown if he could have got his man, but instead it goes incomplete, and it'll be 4th down and 6.
Great effort by Lorenzen to keep it alive. It's just tough. You can't get your arms around his body. He does a wonderful job of keeping it alive. I want you to keep an eye on what he's doing now. We've seen him have to leave the pocket a handful of times. We'll see if conditioning is a problem in this football game. It's early, a little bit hot. He's running around. He said he's in the best shape of his life. Does a great job of buying time and not taking a sack. But he realizes he had a chance at a big play. But keep an eye, and we'll see how his effectiveness goes throughout the 2nd and 3rd quarter heading into the end of this game.
Taylor Begley, the sophomore from Danville, comes on to attempt a field goal. 44-yard field goal is up and good. And the Wildcats are on the board for the first time all season. It's now 14-13 as we take a break. Finally, Kentucky has something to smile about. Of a nasty storm here in Lexington, Kentucky before this game got underway. So far we've had, well, a fairly cleanly played first quarter of action with 33 seconds remaining.
Lorenzen's ability to escape the rush to keep, because if he gets sacked, takes him out of field goal range, bought them time, gets them 3 points, get him on the board.
Clint Ruth will kick off. Broderick Clark is the lone deep man, and he is dangerous. Last year averaged almost 29 yards per kickoff return. But this time he will get nothing on the return, as it is deep into the back of the end zone. Now, so far in the 2003 Governor's Cup, first drive went to the Cardinals. It was all Eric Shelton with a touchdown, and then Gavin Smart, his first career interception, takes the ball inside the 5-yard line, and that set up the second score of the day for Louisville. The fullback DJ Kamer with the catch made it 14-0. We just recently had a field goal by Taylor Begley to give UK their first score. A 44-yarder made it 14-3 Louisville. Lionel Gates is in the backfield now, replacing Eric Shelton for Louisville. Stephon LaFour's back to pass over the middle. Ball is juggled and incomplete. Mike Williams on the breakup. Pass intended for the tight end Ronnie Gent. Well, so far, what have you seen out of the junior Stephon LaFour, Sean?
Well, he's throwing the ball to the right guy. I mean, but he's getting a great job by Shelton and the offensive line running the football. All they wanted from LaFour's is to manage this team, not to give it to the other guy. We don't expect him to throw 35 times for 350 yards. Throw the ball to the right guy. On that last one, he's got to get away from center a little bit more. But the 4-7 for 45 yards, that's the efficiency you want from this kid starting his first career game here at Louisville.
In his first 2 years at Louisville, he completed 8 passes total. He's already got 4 completions today. On the run, just simply throws it out of bounds. Not a chance at all for J.R. Russell to make that catch. And it'll be 3rd down and long.
One thing I think you're going to hear the coaches eventually tell Stephon is when he does that bootleg and gets out of the pocket, if somebody's not open and you break contain, utilize your God-given ability and run the football. Give us some positive yards. Be able to attack the line of scrimmage instead of going sideways to the sideline. Attack the line of scrimmage to give yourself that run-pass option.
3rd down and 10. Michael Bush, the heralded freshman, in the game. Split out wide. He's number 19. Keep an eye on him. In total, 5 receivers in the game for the Cardinals. LaFours over the middle. Has a man caught and dropped right before the 1st down marker. That's J.R. Russell, who didn't quite get where they needed to get to at the 30-yard line.
But what I like about LaFours is knowing that it's a long yardage. Don't try to force something, turn it over, and get yourself in a bad way. Punt it, let your defense do their job, tee it up, and let's play again.
Well, it's the end of the quarter. We'll have to take a break and have the punt when we return. It's 14-3. The Cardinals on top of the Wildcats. It is 4th down and 2 to begin the 2nd period of play. Wade Telachka back in punt formation. Derek Abney so dangerous. Back to return it. Telachka gets it off. And he's going right for out of bounds. Not going to give a chance at all to Abney. Not a good kick at all. Heather Cox down on the sidelines. And Heather, who are you with?
Well, I'm joined by Tubby Smith. A change of environment onto the gridiron instead of the hard court. Now, Coach, last year, expectations always high for Kentucky, but you exceeded those. A game away from the Final Four, SEC champs, unanimous Coach of the Year. What was the secret to your success?
Leadership from our veteran players, kids like Keith Bogans, Jules Kamara, Marquise Estel. Our seniors really stepped up and took charge, but we have a lot of veteran players returning, so I'm really excited about the coming season also. Your first season at Kentucky, you won the national championship. Any advice for Coach Brooks in his first season? Well, just I think patience, longevity, but he's a man who's been in the business long enough. He understands that, and we have great fans here at Kentucky, and I know that we're going to get this turned around, not just tonight, but this year, and expectations are high. With Jared Lorenzen, we have a great and outstanding quarterback. We just need to settle down. Look a little nervous tonight, but we're going to be okay. The most insignificant score is the score in the 1st quarter, 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter. The score that matters is in the game. Some great advice. Best of luck on the hard court this season. Thank you, Heather. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Heather. Great job. 2nd down and 6 now. 2nd consecutive Drake Davis run right up the gut. This time doesn't get as many as the first time. It'll be 3rd and about 4.
Judging from the hand that Tubby Smith got on the field before Heather talked to him. Remember when all the talk about, oh, where's Rick Pitino? Well, he's down the interstate now. Tubby Smith, they love him here now. He got a huge ovation from the people. He is welcome. This is his house now. There you see him getting that big ovation, and you can't hear it, but I'm telling you, it was loud. It's the biggest ovation of the night. And they're at his home football stadium. He's a wonderful man, a good basketball coach, and the 2003 National Coach of the Year, as Heather said.
Jared Lorenzen changing the play at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and a long 3. 2 wide receivers, both out right. Play is whistled dead before it can begin. Flags come down, and our referee, Stephen Hammond, will have to try and straighten it out for us.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense. 5-yard penalty, it's still 3rd down.
And Coach Tubby Smith, being the bright man that he is, said that it looks like Kentucky's a little nervous, and they are. And they're doing some silly things right now. And there's head coach Rich Brooks. 3rd and 3.5, 3rd and 4 is manageable. 3rd and 9 becomes a major problem because now you got to delve deep in that play, but coaches want to put an X through that where they don't even have to mess with it. Now it's a little cat and mouse. You got Mike Gilhammer, defensive coordinator for Louisville. Now we'll try to keep these athletes like this guy, Shane Boyd, from getting the football.
Ball in the 45-yard line, and once again, Lorenzen under pressure. Escapes, pumps, still moving. Folks, that's a 300-pound man almost, and tries to throw it out for the pass. Skittles between the legs of his receiver, and they'll have to punt the football away, and Lorenzen none too pleased at his lack of protection.
Now here's a problem now. They're not giving him enough time. Here's Abney, Derek Abney. Watch him get free. The problem is Lorenzen can't find him because he's being chased around. Coming back trying to find, he can't square his shoulders. Jared, there's not a body anywhere around this guy, but Lorenzen has no time. They're pressuring him and causing him trouble, and has taken his eyes away from somebody who might be open. They've got to give him better protection.
Sekurovic back on to punt. His first one landed on the 2-yard line. It was a great one, and this one is not. It's blocked. Heading the other way. Ball in the end zone. Who wants it? Louisville jumps on it, but a flag comes down.
Shane Boyd tried to block below the waist on a special teams play, and you cannot do that.
J.R. Russell blocks the ball.
Illegal block in the back, above the waist on the kicking team. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
I believe that block was below the waist, but in essence, the same thing. And what Boyd was trying to do is prevent the guy from recovering the fumble. But have a look at this now. 8 block punts last year. Led the NC2A. Louisville Cardinals come and get another one. Rich Brooks, the thing that kept him awake at night was a new snapper and a new punter that had never been in a game before in their life. This was the first one, and he got just what he thought would happen. Guys giving him that heart attack, driving him crazy. And that's what happened. Sleepless nights over the punt team, and that's what happened for Rich Brooks and Steve Ortmeyer, his special teams coach.
It was indeed J.W. Russell who got his mitts on the football and got the block. Extra point once again automatic by Nate Smith, and disaster here in Lexington for the Wildcats. 21-3. The Cardinals on top of Jared Lorenzen and the Wildcats.
You always want to take away the inside first. They don't. Right through untouched. Block. Then he's going to go after it and get it. Great effort by this team. You see the block in the back there by Boyd. That was the penalty, but declined. You've got to take away inside out. Make somebody go the long way. Great effort by Russell. You want to make the outside guys come and get it. When you clear out a lane inside, that's too easy. I don't know if you could put that on the punter and the snapper because everything seemed fine. A little bit of a low snap. But when you do not block somebody, that's too easy inside. Way too easy.
Jonathan
Great effort.
Jackerson, the junior from Fairfield, Alabama, recovered it in the end zone for 6, his first career touchdown, and a great start to a head coaching career for that man. Bobby Petrino couldn't have drawn it up any better. I guess maybe he probably wouldn't draw in the 83-minute rain delay we had at the beginning of the game.
There you go. But when you get 8 block punts and do what you do in the NC2A last year, then come back out and with the new coaching staff feed off that and do it again. That's called a player who goes out there on the field as a wide receiver taking it serious. Special teams is not a play off. It's a third, and a third. Louisville didn't take the play off. Kentucky clears out the inside. That's an easy path to the quarterback. You and I might have been able to get to that.
Maybe you, I don't know about me. Rich Brooks doing some coaching on that sideline. This is not the beginning to his SEC career that he wanted. But that
this
man,
guy right here,
he understands the importance of special teams. Derek Abney hiding behind Drake Davis. Wade Talachka kicks it off. And Abney's going to have a chance if he wants to bring it out. Here he comes. The speedster from Wisconsin going left, and he's brought down roughly before he can get to the 20-yard line by James Green. Let's go back to Bristol and Reese Davis.
Texas taking on New Mexico State. The beginning of the Chance Mock era at quarterback for the Longhorns. Little bit of a sluggish start for Mock, but he's starting to find his stride. Of course, it helps to have the legend. Roy Williams, nice catch for the touchdown, 31-7. Texas has the lead, and Virginia Tech opens its season with a 49-28 victory over Central Florida. Brian Randall was absolutely brilliant.
Brian Randall, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns for the Hokies. Thanks a lot, Reese.
And there's another Vic on that team that wants to play too, doesn't it? Marcus Vic, who
he's some kind of fast, I hear.
Yes.
Ball is.
But Randall staves him off with a little performance tonight, huh?
Ball is broken up before it can get to the receiver. Brandon Johnson got the mitts on it. It'll be 2nd down and 10. And Sean, so far, have you seen anything that would lead you to believe that this field is soggy? If it's difficult to play on anything?
Now take a look at the pictures. There's just a little bit of the grass kicked up, but it looks from here, if you didn't know we had rain, it looks just like a field where a cleat will get in once in a while, but the footing is not a problem for this. Louisville's kicking the backside of Kentucky right now.
We're in the Bluegrass State, but that is not bluegrass they're playing on. It's actually Bermuda grass, in case you're wondering. It's a brand new field installed this past off season. Lorenzen under duress gets his man. It's Davis, and the scat back scats out close to the 30-yard line for a first down. Heather Cox is down on the field with a report. Heather.
Well, confirmation, it is not the field that can be used for an excuse for the Wildcats. They put in a new drainage system a few years ago. They took the crown out. It drains better than it ever has. You would never know that it rained like it did for an hour right before this game started.
Thanks, Heather. Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
She got the best view of any of us, too, right down there walking on it.
She had the worst job of all of us during that rain delay when she was trying to weather the storm.
She was everywhere. She did a great job.
Drake Davis joined by Rock Johnson behind Jared Lorenzen. Rock Johnson from Cleveland, Ohio, is the fullback, seeing his first action of the day. They give to Davis, running off right guard. Picks up a couple of yards before Rod Day brings him down.
You know, getting back to Lorenzen, we once again saw him get out of the pocket, make something happen with his feet. A lot of pro scouts here. Talked to a couple of them beforehand. How can you not like what you see? The one question mark was conditioning, and can this guy make something happen other than his arm? And he's doing it. Lorenzen, although don't buy those numbers, he's been under tremendous pressure. He's keeping things alive. So if you're questioning his feet, that's a mobile 285-pounder right there.
Glenn Holt and Chris Bernard, the receivers in the game.
Here we go again. Now, we've seen two bad plays when this has happened. There's Shane Boyd, and Lorenzen's down here at the bottom of your screen playing wide receiver.
2nd down and 8, and the handoff goes up the middle. That's Rock Johnson. He powers forward for a couple. It'll be 3rd down.
We talked about Lorenzen's feet. Normally when we show highlights of Lorenzen, it's always throwing the ball. There's a pretty decent effort in a block, I guess, but this is what I love. Head up the field, taking punishment. He's probably hurting the guys that are tackling him more. Keeping the ball in play. He's getting a lot of pressure, and this is taken away from sacks and turnovers. Lorenzen's doing a good job, and if they can protect him a little better, imagine what the arm can do. But we're seeing wonderful feet by a guy who isn't supposed to be able to move.
3 wide receivers in, 3rd and 4. Lorenzen, the left-hander, goes back, and again he has limited time. Out to the right, running out of room. Lorenzen dives. Does he get the first down? We will see. Good athletic play there by a guy who's close to 300 pounds.
Yeah, and he's doing a Lorenzen buying it, but here's what's happening when he has to run. You're going to see Abney come across the field. Lorenzen sees him right now, but he's not open. Now on the broken play, Abney has the presence of mind to break it off. Once again, not a defensive guy on the screen, but with all those bodies in front of Lorenzen, even though he's 6'4", you're trying to throw through lanes. Eventually what's going to happen is he's going to break the pocket, and you're going to see Abney open, and Lorenzen will spot him and give himself a big chance at a big play.
Well, the man is down on the Kentucky sideline. Not exactly sure who that is. Yes, it is indeed Jared Lorenzen, but he's back up and got the helmet back on, and he will remain in the game as his Wildcats do get the first down because of his effort.
Here's the hit on the sidelines. Look at the great effort by the big fella reaching. Going to take a little bit of punishment, but a nice job reaching with his right arm, which is his non-throwing arm. Falls down a little bit there, but gets up, shakes it off. Tough to hurt somebody that big. But what a great job by him to make the effort. And he's out. He's back out on the sidelines now. And Shane Boyd's in. There you see, 208 yards. Tim Couch, 275. Remember, Couch was the first pick of the draft a couple, 5 years back.
Boyd running the option, gets it over to Davis, and Davis, a good run, his best run of the day before he's knocked out of bounds by Tyrone Satterfield. But another first down.
Toughest defense to defend now in college football with all the passing. You don't see this. Look at Boyd come down the line. He's going to read the end. The end makes a commitment to Boyd. I like that, though. He pitches it to Davis. Very rarely do you see a quarterback pitch it and then go block somebody. They usually get hit, but a nice job pitching, blocking. Remember, he's the personal protector on the punts, so he can do a lot of it. It's a nice job because you don't prepare for the option very much because not all the teams not very many teams in college football run it. Kentucky giving you a little change-up pitch there.
Gain of 12 for Davis. Lorenzen back in the game. All just on the other side of the 50, all the 49-yard line. Play clock winding down. They just get it off. Davis between the tackles. He's a small man, but they say he can run fairly well between the tackles. And Sean, he's only 5'7" at only 170 pounds.
Yeah, but Rich Brooks told us, I mean, don't be misled by the body. Even though he's small in stature, that 170 pounds, yeah, I think he's got an 8-pack, and you can't buy that in soda cans in the stores because they don't sell it. So this is a man that's put together that can take a lot of punishment. That's why he's here. But doing a nice job. What a contrast in backs. This guy here, Davis, you look at Eric Barton, who's 6'3", 245 on the other side of the field. but doing a good job of running inside.
Davis with 35 yards in his first Division I game on 7 carries. Lorenzen on the move, throws high, pass intended for Maurice Marchman, and he couldn't quite get it there.
Ball a little high. I don't know if that has to do with any moisture on the football, but good job by Davis. We talk about guys being able to run. As a former quarterback, and I wasn't very good, have a look at what Davis does, number 26. You don't just ask these guys to run the ball up inside. This is him here. Watch him come down and peel back and make a good block here at the bottom of your screen. That's doing your job. You got a guy that probably outweighs you by 100 pounds darn near, at least 80 pounds. Davis helping out Lorenzen, just an inaccurate throw.
3rd down and 5. In motion is Chris Bernard.
Look at this cushion with Abney right here. A lot of space.
Lorenzen guns it across the middle, has a man. Brought down by Brent Johnson. We'll see if it's enough for the first down. That's the tight end, Jeremiah Drobny, on the catch.
Really hard to miss the ball when it punctures your chest. Nice job by Drobny to squeeze it. Have a look. You're going to see Drobny standing up, going to come here, run an out cut, and Lorenzen's going to throw it on time and hit him right in the numbers. Nice job by Jared to look the other way with his eyes. No hesitation. Throws it in between linebackers. That's all you need. Doesn't matter if it's by an inch, it's still a first down.
On 3rd and 6, they get 7. First down, inching towards the goal line are the Wildcats. They trail by 18 points. Davis up the gut. Not much there. Gets 2, maybe 3. Now Davis, just a real solid career, to say the least. In junior college a year ago, 8.4 yards per carry. He had 5 carries of over 80 yards.
That's good if you're playing Pop Warner, my friend, and that's played against some pretty good football players at Solano Community College out in Vallejo, California. That's pretty amazing.
He had to go to junior college because coming out of high school in the Oakland area, he wasn't recruited at all. College coaches saw the hype and they said, you know what, maybe you better try your wares on playing junior college football. He did that, caught the eye of the Kentucky Wildcats.
You're seeing 3 deep here. Lorenzen calling timeout, but he's trying to audible. That 3 deep gives you corners off. Got to start working and pounding the outside lanes.
We'll take a timeout with the Wildcats. It's 21-3. The Cardinals on top of the Cats.
Behind him is a 400-square-foot deluxe bachelor with a partial view. In front of him is a junior executive semi-private with no view. But right now, life is perfect. On the open road, in complete control of an Acura RSX. One of Car and Driver's 10 best.
And now, the choice is clear. To buy it now or start my bidding. The thing is there. It could be here. Can't live without it. Who am I kidding? Bags, clothes, lamps, this PDA. I click buy it now and it's on its way. Through auctions or without delay. You can do it eBay.
Look, I can't give both you guys my number.
Great, then I'll just grab a pen. We'd appreciate that, Jeff.
So you guys are close?
Oh yeah, we're like brothers. I'd do anything for that guy. Just phone. Hey, Sharon. No, your fiance just stepped away. He's thinking about you right now. I'll tell him. Later.
Smirnoff Ice Premium Malt Beverage. Intelligent nightlife.
Well, this is exactly what the Kentucky Wildcats need. Down by 18 points. They've had a solid drive to get down to the 35-yard line. Jared Lorenzen just didn't see something he liked, so he calls timeout, but it is 2nd and 8. Drake Davis remains behind him. Davis has been a real find on this series. Fake the end around, and they go to Davis, and not much doing in the middle of the field. Gain of 2, maybe 3, and it'll be 3rd and long. This drive, Davis has spearheaded a rushing attack. They've gained 35 yards on the ground this drive alone. Prior to this drive, they had just 15 yards the entire game.
That'll help Lorenzen's pass protection also. He's been pressured, done a good job with his feet. But when you can run the football, now you'll start to see You don't want to become a passing fancy, and the Wildcats are trying to get away from just being a team that throws. What I'm talking about is the cushion out here when you pound those outside lanes. Guys are 10, 12 yards off in the secondary. Got to work the outside and see if you can make some things happen.
3rd and 6. They hit the fullback out of the backfield. Rock Johnson fighting for it, and he'll be close. But I don't know if he got it. It'll be 4th down and very short. What do you do, Sean?
I go for it. I go for it. You want a momentum switcher here. You got him backed up. You better hope your defense plays some decent football. It's 4th down. I line them up and play football and see if we can get in and show your team. We talked about trust in the open. Trust that you have the coach trust in his players that they're good enough to get this. Because if you can get 7 on this drive, now you're within 11, and now the players say, hey, Coach Brooks has got it going on right. And Ron Hudson, his offensive coordinator, who comes from Kansas State and had a great run there, understands this.
They'll have to hurry to get the playoff. 4th down and 1. Lorenzen takes it himself, and the huge quarterback is going to be close. They may have to measure this one, Sean. Is that a good play on 4th and 1?
Well, I think most of the defense has a pretty good idea who's going to carry the football. I always hated it because everybody was pinching and doing the thing, and you're trying to rush that play and get it off. But at 285 pounds, you'd think that you could move the pile a yard. And the offensive line needs to take some accountability, as we've talked about even with Coach Brooks, of making something happen. And I remember talking to Bill Parcells, who's coaching in Dallas now, about attitude. That I don't care if there's 10 men in the line of scrimmage. He said one time, he said, it's an attitude. Run the football. If they got 10 and we got 9, we're going to push it and try to stop them. I mean, we're going to try to run the ball. They had a lot of guys in the line of scrimmage, and they don't get the first down here.
There is a decent-sized contingent that have made the trip from the Louisville area.
Here we see the first down here. That's a long way to go on a quarterback sneak. That was about 1.5 yards to 2 yards. Usually you want to come within about 1 yard. Have a look at the distance he's got to travel. If it's 1 yard, half a yard, maybe. 2 yards is a little much even for 285 pounds. In that situation, don't like that call.
So the ball goes over on downs. The Louisville Cardinals, led by Stephon LaForce, comes in. There's Shelton. Sheldon's not going to have much going at all on the left side. A flag does fly. Brought down roughly by Sweet Pea Burns.
Now, I like the fact that Kentucky went for it. I just would have done something different instead of a 2-yard quarterback sneak. And the flag is down. Good job by Burns to get across the line.
Defense. 5-yard penalty, it's still first down.
Maybe that's why he was across the line.
Let's head down to Heather. Heather.
Yesterday, Stephon LaFleur told me he knew exactly how he was going to handle the hostility of the 70,000 plus. He said, I'm going to turn my ears off. He grew up the only hearing member of an entirely deaf family. He said he'd come home from school and instantly turn those ears off, and that's exactly what he plans on doing here today. He also wanted to be sure to say to his family that he says hello to both his mother, his father, and his brother Eric, who are watching at home in Baton Rouge.
Great job, Heather. First down and 5 now. A little bit of a gift penalty. Moves him up 5 yards. LaForce hands it off, and Shelton battles. And he'll have just a nominal gain as he's brought down once again by Burns.
And Stephon taught Heather how to do a little sign language for it. Was talking to her during our meetings. Great job by Heather, and it's a great story by that young man whose family, you know, the adversity he has to go through. This pales in comparison to what he's had to go through in life, and what a big heart he has, and you know, newly married, which is good for him too. So he's got it all going on, and what a great story. These are one of those guys you want to see be successful no matter what he does. Great job, Heather.
Married his high school sweetheart Joy this past May, and she's in the stands today. She's a former student here at Louisville. Another big game. First down picked up by Eric Shelton, and the chains will move for the Cardinals, so the offense keeps on keeping on. There, folks,
I believe this is her right here.
That is his wife, Joy LaForce.
Excited, got the number on, number 17. You can only see part of it. Boy, he married over his head, didn't he? Good to have her here. What a calming, he was talking about the calming influence she's been on him, and she keeping him in line, ready to play this football game, giving him some encouragement. That's awesome.
Said his parents didn't want to come to the game because they prefer the broadcast. All right, so hopefully we're doing them justice. Sheldon, another carry, his 3rd consecutive carry, brought down by Williams. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Pyle seems to always go forward when that big fella's carrying it. Eric Shelton. When we talk, I mean, I started getting nervous when we were talking to him in the meetings because he was focused. There you see 5-6 a carry. He didn't want to talk to anybody. I mean, he talked to us and did a great job. But he said from that point on, he had his game face on Thursday. Those arms, those are some yokes is what I call them.
He's just been itching to play for a year and a half. Had to sit out as a transfer last year after leaving Florida State. And last year, while practicing on the scout team, broke his leg. Completely recovered from that, but yet another setback. The kid from Lexington. Pass is complete. That's Broderick Clark. And Clark with a good bit of running after the catch. He muscles his way for a 17-yard gain. And once again, the offense looks like it's ahead of the defense of Kentucky right now.
Just a little outcut. Clark with all that speed, and LaFleur's being smart. Just come out here, outcut. Look at all the cushion you get when you go out. There's nobody out there. Boom. Right there, easy. That's simple pitch and catch right there, and linebacker can't cover Clark in the open field. 6-yard throw turns into a first down. Nice job. LaFleur's doing what they want him to do, be efficient.
LaFleur's now 6 for 10 on the game with 72 yards and a touchdown. Inside run. Lionel Gates this time, and he's brought down by a whole host of tacklers. Second down and long, and Reese Davis is standing by. Reese.
Take you back down to Austin, Texas, New Mexico State, and Chance Mock hooking up with Roy Williams. Chance Mock having his
protection.
inaugural start for the Longhorns. Roy Williams over 100 yards receiving it is 38-7.
It's like Mock's done a good job filling in. The big question was, could somebody step in for Chris Sims?
Chris who?
Chris, yeah, I don't know about that. So he had a good training camp in Tampa, but Mock's doing a nice job, and Roy Williams doesn't hurt.
Under 4 minutes to play first half. Another handoff. This time a gain of 3. And it'll bring up a third down. Lionel Gates now getting the bulk of the carries, with Eric Sheldon getting a blow. Gates returning, player from last season. The junior last year had a real difficult time against the Kentucky Wildcats. Had just 8 yards and 8 carries. Big kid as well, just like Sheldon. So they have 2 good power runners. That's Bobby Petrino. Third down and 5 now.
Mike Archer, the defensive coordinator of Kentucky, want to put him in a good situation here. Coached the linebackers in Pittsburgh for a while, so understands what good defense is about. This is huge if they can get a stop.
LaForce from the shotgun has 5 receivers. LaForce, those quick feet, gets out of the way and throws a bad pass. It's picked off by Muhammad Abdullah. The first mistake made by LaForce, and it really nips a positive drive in the bud. The first career interception for Abdullah, and the Wildcats get a charge of momentum.
So that Mike Archer, the defensive coordinator, makes the right call. Makes the right call. But when you're out of rhythm as a quarterback, here's what happens. You force the ball, especially when you're young. Kentucky's got a shot on offense.
They set up in the eye on this, the last play of the game. And here's the snap. Hand off to the tailback. Peterson tries the right side. Wow, what a hit. But he stays on his feet, and he's broken to the outside, and it's wide open. Touchdown. Give him a touchdown.
Put the phone down. Yeah, you. Now try again. And this time, dial 1-800-COLLECT. It's easy. Just put the 1-800 before collect. A man of few words. 1-800-COLLECT. Save $1 or $2.
Spicy. Boneless. Cool.
Chili's boneless buffalo wings. Want more flavor?
Chili's.
Introducing a new level of performance from Acura. The all-new TSX.
Sap, you better leave town, baby. You better leave town, baby.
Rated everyone.
ESPN2's College Football Sunday. Brought to you by the 200 horsepower Acura RSX Type S.
University of Kentucky Wildcats came into this season with a new head coach, Sean, but with a lot of hope for what they could possibly do if things go well. They had a good season last year under Guy Morris, finished 7-5. They're hoping to build on that. And so far, well, they've scuffled out of the gate, down by 18.
Yeah, and it's not so much the score. You can overcome the score. It's the fact that you're just not playing well. You're not moving the ball. A lot of good things aren't happening to your team. You want to fix that with momentum here on the last drive of the half for them.
Lorenzen with the play fake. No time at all. He is brought down rudely. The second sack of the day for the Cardinals.
I'm telling you, you get to a point where being a leader is one thing and trying to be positive, and you got to be positive. But there comes a point when you got to take your offensive line around a face mask and say enough's enough, guys. We've got to finally, we've got to bow our neck and get ourselves ready to play. Can't sit back there and let your quarterback, I don't care how big he is, take that much punishment. Got to find a way to do something better up front. There's not a lot of depth on the offensive line for Kentucky, and those first guys aren't playing very well right now either.
2nd down and 11. Lorenzen to throw again, setting up a screen to the tailback. Drake Davis shakes a tackle. Another tackle broken, and he gets out across the 50-yard line. A first down and an electrifying play for the folks here at Commonwealth Stadium.
Now that's how you beat pressure. You say enough. If you're not going to block for me, then I'm going to let the rush come in, drop a little screen to Drake Davis. What a little stutter step. Going to come over here and give you the old okey doke right here. Bam! Excuse me. Get himself another 10 yards and a first down.
Gain of 15 before he's brought down out of bounds. The Kentucky Wildcats would love another score before they go to the locker room for halftime. 1st down and 10. Lorenzen fakes the handoff, shoots it out to Davis. Davis again around left end, and another big yardage gainer. Reese Davis back in Bristol. What do you have?
Well, coming up on the Olive Garden halftime report, we'll talk about some injury updates, including one that Al Gross says is redefined the Virginia Cavaliers.
And I'm going to tell you about Florida State running back Greg Jones. His knee surgery last year. How well he's doing this year?
And there were some quarterbacks trying to fill some big shoes. I think one guy in particular really stepped up for a big-time program.
We'll have all of that in the Olive Garden halftime report coming up just as soon as you guys finish your first half down in Lexington. Eric?
Thanks, Reese. We look forward to it. 2nd down and 1 now. And on short yardage, the give up the gut is to Bagingi. And Bagingi gets down close to the 30-yard line. 11 yards on that carry.
Well, maybe Lorenzen decided to tell those guys on the offensive line. Right side going to push, tight end going to kick out, allow some space in there for Bagingi to get it up the field. And if you ask offensive linemen how they want to dominate somebody, you have to play a little passive when you're pass protecting. They want to get in somebody's face, and these big fellas here, maybe this is what they need to get them going on the other side of running the football, and not the throwing passing part of it.
Bagingi knows where to go. He follows the big number 73 Antonio Hall last play. This time a little pass out to Derek Abney is broken up. Josh Minkins, the captain of the secondary, on the coverage. It'll be 2nd down and a long 10.
Now, Eric, check this out. When this is just laziness on Lorenzen's part, you don't want to do this. He needs to get his body where it's coming this way and these shoulders square. He does it. They're coming this way. Ball goes high. His momentum carrying him towards the sideline. High throw. Needs to be working towards the line of scrimmage and throw that thing with the authority that he usually does. That's just being lazy and not doing the things that you're good at. Don't get tired and get lazy on a drive like this.
2nd down and 10. Big possession here for the Wildcats. They want to score before they go into the locker room for halftime. Lorenzen swoops it out. Who's got it? Abney has it with room to run. Abney with a first and more. Down to the 13-yard line. Before he's pushed out of bounds, but a dangerous sign right there if you're a Wildcat fan. You just saw Abney grab his hamstring. He's had a real big problem with hamstrings in the past.
This quick screen, just a one step. This looks like an easy throw, but you got to get it to where the ball is heading towards the line of scrimmage to allow Abney to catch it on the run. That play is dead if he throws it behind him. Now that's getting your mechanics right, getting it out of your hand and throwing it where Abney has a chance to run with it, and another first down. Now that is mechanically sound by Jared Lorenzen.
Abney with a gain of 17, but he's now being attended to on the sideline. Lorenzen back to throw. Looking towards the end zone, has a man, touchdown, Glenn Holt. 13-yard touchdown pass, the first touchdown of the game for Kentucky.
I keep saying it, but he keeps doing it. Have a look-see in the gun, buying a little more time. Gonna sidestep the rush, watch his head, stay up the field. Throws a dart, that's what he's known for, the strong arm. Great job by Lorenzen. Can't emphasize enough, instead of keeping your head down, keep it up the field, find somebody. That's giving yourself 2 or 3 extra seconds. And a shot, the end zone, momentum going into the locker room's huge.
Holt's second career touchdown. That one was a 13-yarder. Begley makes the extra point, and that makes it 21-10. Louisville on top.
The Cats, take a look. Lorenzen, huge throw. Confidence will grow on the sideline. Kentucky's going to D him up here before halftime.
Behind him is a 400-square-foot deluxe bachelor with a partial view. In front of him is a junior executive semi-private with no view. But right now, life is perfect. On the open road, in complete control of an Acura RSX. One of Car and Driver's 10 best.
If you're losing your hair, how would you like a free month supply of Avocor? Huh? That's right. We're giving away an additional 1-month supply of Avocor absolutely free with today's orders. Did you know thousands of people just like you have reversed their hair loss thanks to Avocor? Imagine going from this to this.
When I started to notice my hair thinning, I took action with Avocor. It stopped my hair loss. I'm regrowing my hair. It's worth every penny.
Before you spend thousands on painful hair restoration procedures, why not give us a call and let Avocor regrow your hair the easy way without paying a fortune?
Avocor is so effective, it's guaranteed for up to 1 full year. Isn't it time you regain that youthful appearance? The sooner you order, the sooner Avocor can start regrowing your hair.
Call 800-397-8917. Remember, order today to get an extra month supply for free. That's 800-397-8917.
We have a ball game again. The Cardinals on top of the Wildcats 21-10. The Wildcats getting a score right before the half to make themselves feel a lot better.
How about that, though? That's what a backup's supposed to do. Holt comes off the bench, Glenn Holt. Abney, the hamstring, the play before. A little bit of a twins there, goes to the sidelines. What happens? Holt comes in, gets himself open, makes a touchdown catch. That's when a coach says depth matters. And Holt did his job. Excellent play.
Just the second career touchdown for Holt. Kick goes, it's a low one on one bounce. Broderick Clark picks it up. And Clark has room on the right side, cuts back towards the middle, and he is absolutely hammered. Shot with an elephant gun is Clark after a gain of 21. Coming up at the half, it's the Olive Garden halftime report with Reese Davis, Trev Alberts, Mark May. Those folks working very hard. They have been put to the test already this evening. Back in that studio, and they'll do more wonderful things at the half.
Yeah, not only that, they'll tell you about all the good things that are going on in college football. We'll get great opinion, and it's a good studio show back there with our fellas. Now don't screw it up, guys. Make sure we're on it, right?
Let's see what LaForce wants to do with just a little bit of time remaining in the first half. He hands it off to the big fella. Lionel Gates has it, but he's brought down by Vincent Burns after a gain of 4, and it looks like they'll be content to just go in the locker room.
We got a timeout.
Oh, someone's calling timeouts.
Timeout, Louisville.
It is Louisville calling timeouts. Are you a little bit surprised, Sean?
Yeah, I am. A little bit surprised. I think you take it in and go, but hey, maybe they got something we don't know.
We'll see how it works out. Back in a moment.
It all adds up to a bright future for you at the University of Kentucky.
The University of Louisville is a catalyst. U of L is making significant medical discoveries that will lead to healthier lives. We are an incubator of ideas that spawn new business and economic development. understanding how the mind works to unlock learning for her sons and daughters. U of L is an agent for change, improving.
Back to live action, and after the timeout, the give goes to Lionel Gates, and Gates jumps out close to the first down. 16 seconds remaining, but the clock stops after the first down, or at least for the measurement. We'll see what they're doing.
Mark the first down. Clock will stop. They'll reset this thing. 16 seconds. Going to get another timeout, I think, by Bobby Petrino. He may want to get in field goal range. Try to switch that momentum back to Louisville that they lost with the touchdown by Lorenzen.
Let's take a look at the game track in case you're just joining us, and it's been an exciting one after an 83-minute delay because of inclement weather. Well, it didn't seem to bother Eric Shelton at all. He returned to Lexington and taken on the Kentucky Wildcats and really took it to him early on, had an early touchdown, and then things kind of collapsed altogether in every facet of the game for the Kentucky Wildcats. They had a pickoff, then a kick was blocked. It was jumped on for a touchdown there, 21-3 at the worst point, and then right just a moment ago, Holt at the back of the end zone, catching the 13-yard touchdown pass to put a 7th spot on the board for Kentucky, and it is now 21-10. The Cardinals on top of the Cavs.
Man, we not start college football awesome yesterday with some great games on our network and just everywhere. I mean, college football started off. Great way to get it going before Labor Day. I thought it was awesome.
I thought you wanted to talk about what your USC Trojans did.
I'll let my man Trev talk about them, because he's going to talk good about them too, I think, too.
Is it true that you called down there and you gave him a pep talk before the game?
If I'd have given a pep talk, they wouldn't have won. They did the right thing by not listening to me. That was fun to watch. Good college start for a lot of teams yesterday.
11 seconds remaining. Louisville just one timeout remaining. LaForce getting greedy. What does he want? Complete. Does he get out of bounds? Yes, he does. And the clock will stop. Gain of 16 on a pass play to Broderick Clark.
Timeout. Louisville.
No, they're going to say he stayed in bounds, but they're going to call a timeout with 5 seconds remaining.
Now, here's the interesting thing. You really don't have enough time to throw at a 3 or 4 yard outcut's not going to do you any good here. It'll be too long. So what you have to do now, they've put themselves in position to take a shot at the end zone to throw the ball up, because even with 5 seconds to go, you figure the play will take longer. You can't work it inside. The clock will run out, because when the ball snapped, it's going to start. You throw it outside of the 5-yard gain, but you're still going to be kicking from 44. You're talking about a 60-plus yard field goal. This has to be one of those throw it up and hope for interference, try to get it close and see if something happens.
So this is very aggressive play for Bobby Petrino, considering this is his first game as a head coach. He's got a brand new rookie quarterback who's never started a game before in Division I football, and you have a lead. You're up by 11 at the half.
Yeah, and but I like this. It tells you, it sends a message to your team. You trust your quarterback, that he'll protect it. And I believe that what you'll see here is Michael Bush, the freshman, the true freshman, bigger, stronger arm, come in because he can get it to the end zone. Bobby Petrino has put up some great numbers as a coordinator in his past, and Michael Bush is in the game, the true freshman. Gives him a better chance to throw it all the way to the end zone with his arm.
So Bush in the shotgun. This will be his first attempt as a collegiate if he can get it off. And Bush has no chance at all. A jailbreak, and Sweet Pea Burns brings him down for the sack. So that'll do it for the first half of play in Lexington, Kentucky. Let's send it to Bristol, where we will have the Olive Garden halftime report with Reese Davis, Trev Alberts, and Mark May.
And it's Sean.
Saturday weekend kickoff.
Welcome back to Lexington, Kentucky. Another 30 minutes to play before this game is in the books. Sarah Collins alongside Sean Salisbury, where we have a 21-10 score. The Cardinals of Louisville on top of the Wildcats of Kentucky. And young quarterback for the Cardinals, veteran quarterback for the Wildcats. Who played better in the first half?
Well, the numbers dictate that they both were pretty equal. And LaForce did a good job of protecting the ball, and so did Lorenzen, considering he had to run around. The key is Lorenzen's been in these for 4 years now. I mean, 4 years as a starter. And LaForce, this is his first chance. So do you get that naive guy who goes out and lets it all hang out, LaForce, and you get Lorenzen who comes back with that momentum that he had at the end of the first half. But I guarantee the game plan shouldn't change much, especially for Louisville. Got to get back to Shelton. The better Shelton runs, the better LaForce will play.
LaForce needing that ground game in his first collegiate start. Well, let's take a look at the Rust-Oleum Epoxy halftime stats. And the rushing yards were big early on for the Louisville Cardinals. They got 60 early yards from Shelton, but then things kind of slowed down. UK got Drake Davis going. They got 61 yards in the first half, and when he went, their offense started to go.
Yeah, and with those pass yards for UK, they want that stat to go up. They want more of those. It means you got to protect your quarterback. And then the other side of it, rush yards. Louisville can give you more of these because Eric Shelton started off big on the first few drives, and then they seem to be on the sideline a lot because of the blocked punt, the things, so their offense didn't get a chance to get going. But it's Shelton to run it, it's Lorenzen in the pass game to throw it, and then to mix in the other players, and Davis did a good job of running the ball near the end of the second quarter for Kentucky.
Well, Kentucky won the toss at the beginning of the game, and they deferred, so they will get the ball first here in the second half. And Derek Abney is back deep for the Kentucky Wildcats. He'll field this kick from Wade Talachka if he can, if they kick it to him. Once again, he's hiding behind Drake Davis. There was some concern about the hamstring of Abney near the end of the second period of play. He left and was attended to, but now he's back on the field. So hopefully, for the Wildcat faithful, he is close to 100%. He's a good one. This kick goes out of bounds. And it'll be ball on the 20-yard line for the Wildcats. And this is what we had in the first 30 minutes of play. Shelton a touchdown early on to make it 7-0 and made a mistake. Shane Boyd throws it right into the arms of Gavin Smart. He takes it down inside the 10. LaForge gets the touchdown pass to Kamer. Things were going all Louisville's way after that blocked punt by J.R. Russell was recovered by Jackerson in the end zone. But then right at the end of the half, well, Lorenzen got on the board with that touchdown pass to make it an 11-point deficit, which is definitely manageable with still 2 full quarters to play here at Commonwealth Stadium. First play of the second half about to be played. Lorenzen underneath center. He has Drake Davis, his lone setback behind him. Lorenzen throws, and it's slow. Try to go down and scoop it up was Wynn Gaffron, but he couldn't quite get his mitts on it, and it's incomplete. Second down and 10.
I used to hate halftime. I did, because if you were getting whipped, you didn't want to go in because you said, you know what, forget that. I don't want to go in and get cold. I want to start. I want to get momentum switch now. And then if you were winning, you didn't want to go in because you said, we got momentum. We don't want to go back in there and lose that momentum. I didn't like it because you always had to come back out and I liked it in high school when you went over there and had a little Gatorade in the corner, came back out and played.
Second down and 10 now. Lorenzen hands it off to Davis, and Davis can't get going. A gain of 1, maybe 2. Well, Jared Lorenzen, his first half was solid. He had 99 yards in the air. And that means he's getting closer and closer to breaking Tim Couch's UK record for most passing yards in a career. He's now just 204 away from Tim Couch. And, of course, Tim Couch, all he did was parlay his career here in Lexington into being the first pick overall by the Cleveland Browns a couple of years ago.
Who lost his job to Kelly Holcomb. He is now the backup in Cleveland. But Lorenzen, that's amazing. He may get it this game, but he'll for sure get it in the next 2 games, that passing record.
Bank on the handoff, and Lorenzen's going to run with it. Now he throws it up, but really no chance at all to get that ball to his man. Maurice Marchman really had the ball just skip against his ankle.
Now that's what I talked about at times, and the Jared's mechanics, and he's admitted this when he gets tired, whether he is or not now, his mechanics start to suffer. That's another one. His body was going towards the sideline, and his shoulders were tilted towards the sideline instead of trying to go north and south up the field. The ball bounces short. You can't get enough on the throw, and your accuracy goes down when you don't square your shoulders when you're running out of the pocket.
Sikorovich back. Punt the ball away. He's already had 1 blocked for a touchdown. Trying to erase that bad memory. And before things get started, movement on the line, and it'll drop back to Wildcats another 5 yards.
That will be on the long snapper. He double clutched, can't double clutch, so it's a legal procedure.
Prior to the snap, that was an illegal snap on the center. 5-yard penalty, it's still 4th down.
Remember what we said after the block punt. Rich Brooks' biggest concern in this game, what kept him awake, is the long snapper, first game, punter, first game. They've had 1 blocked, and now they go through the double clutch. Have a look here now at the double clutch center. He's going to clutch. Draws him off, then snaps it. Can't do that. It's part of being in your first game, the first time you've ever snapped in a regular season game. There you have it.
Trouble on the toss back to Sikorovich, and the ball is loose. Whistle still hasn't blown. Ball knocked out of bounds back of the end zone, and that's going to be a safety. Rich Brooks beside himself.
That ends up being got lucky, did Kentucky. They're only going to give up 2, and I know they got to give up the ball, but that should have been a touchdown. Now, this is just flat out embarrassing. You got one job to do as a punter. That's kick it. But the first thing you do is catch it. That ball, we talked about the trouble. The snap hit him in a bad spot, right in the hands. You got to catch this ball. Beautiful snap. That's called being a little intimidated by the fact you had one blocked. And you feel for the kid, but the bottom line, he's got a job. He's their punter. Catch it. Ball going to hit him right. That's a perfect snap. That's it. It comes a point in time when things are inexcusable, and he's got to catch that. He puts Kentucky in a bind. 2 points, change of possession. And not only Rich Brooks, but Steve Ortmeyer, the special teams coach, probably going crazy. And what you see Rich Brooks trying to do now is be positive. That young man didn't intend to drop it, but he's got to be a little bit more focused on a football instead of looking at the rush and just laid it on the ground.
For Sikorovich, his first game as a punter here at Kentucky is a game that he will want to forget, but not sure he'll be able to anytime soon after having a punt blocked and then having a muff trying to just get the snap.
Well, what happens now, he's got, I mean, if coach keeps him in to punt more and he's the one back there, he got to overcome that. Now he's got to suck it up and realize they've had one blocked. That's over. He dropped one. That's over. And you got to move on, because you know what? A third one, and it's a trend. That's 2 mistakes. And his biggest nightmare has come to, Rich Brooks' biggest nightmare has come to fruition here in this football game.
So they will kick it off as opposed to punting. They have that option after a safety, but they will kick it off from the 20-yard line, and Broderick Clark is going to have a chance, more than likely, to have a decent return. Clark catches it on the 17-yard line. Kind of tiptoes his way to the middle of the diamond and never really got started north and south. He is brought down quickly by Andrew Hopewell after a minimal gain. Stephon LaForce comes back onto the field, 7 for 12. He had a touchdown his second drive as a starter for the Louisville Cardinals. He had 2 good drives to begin the game, but then things kind of went sour. Was that all running game related, Sean?
Well, not all running game related. He made the one errant throw when he hesitated a little bit and threw the interception. I thought he did a very efficient job and a nice job to keep them, their offense headed in the right direction. And he did a lot of this in the first half, too.
They start with play action, and he has a man, Broderick Clark. First down and more. Clark gets it wide open, puts his head up and gets another 5 yards after the catch.
And you know why that's a good play for not only a young quarterback when you're trying to build somebody's confidence? Because it gives him the option, gets him out on the edge to get away from those bodies, because the kid's only 6 feet tall. You allow him to get on the edge, people crossing in front of his face so he can actually see the whole field. And it's a confidence builder. It's just a short little throw, and if he's not there, you can take off and run. I think it's a very, very smart job by Paul and Bobby Petrino to get him out on the edge and allow him to get the confidence going in this football game.
First down. Shelton in the backfield. He'll get the pitch and head left. Shelton with room to move. Shelton with a big run before he's hammered out of bounds by Abdullah. Gain of 14. Let's head it back down, and Heather, what do you have?
That night just got a little bit worse for Kentucky's defense. Deion Holtz, a linebacker for Kentucky, is out with a concussion. They don't want to take any chances. He will not play in this game. Don't forget the linebacking core, probably the weakest of this group. 4 new backers playing in a brand new 3-4 scheme. Not a good sign for the Wildcat D. Back to you, Eric.
And Heather talked about the 3-4 scheme. That means 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers, and she's right. It's very difficult, but also it's difficult for the offense to have to deal with 4 linebackers and how they line up. But depth becomes a problem now for Kentucky. Heather's exactly right.
LaForce, another handoff inside, and Lionel Gates has room on the left side. Gates finally pushed out of bounds at the 5-yard line, but the Cardinals knocking on the door again, and it's the running game that's getting them back to where they want to be offensively.
Looks like an SUV could drive through there. Movement inside here. You're going to see a gaping hole, and the great job opening it up, run through there. Nice job with his feet in the hole, but not a lot of hesitation. Excellent run. Lionel Gates getting it down the field, but good vision. Have a look at the vision. Boop, that's not there. Let's get back inside. The key there is guys staying on their blocks. You get them, you get up in their face, you stay on them, you continue to drive. Very nice job of Gates reading it. Good job by the interior guys up front.
Shelton and Kamer, the backs in the backfield for the Cardinals. And Shelton, greeted rudely and thrown down by Dustin Williams, the sophomore from Joliet, Illinois. Had some bad intentions and dropped him quickly. And that's the first time we've seen Shelton be knocked back.
And have a look. Heather made the point about the depth in this team not being very good at linebacker. Runs right through. Have a look how quick he is. He's unblocked. Nice job. We talked about Louisville's line to play before blocking. Didn't do a good job there. Nice run through by Dustin Williams. If you can do that, linebackers will get a lot better at University of Kentucky.
With the ball on the 11-yard line, they will bring 4 wideouts for the Cardinals. Lionel Gates is the only running back, and he gets the ball from LaForce. Gates to his left picks up about the same amount of yards that were lost the previous play, and it'll be 3rd and goal. Vincent Sweet Pea Burns on the stop.
Mike Archer talked to us, their defensive coordinator, Kentucky's, yesterday, and the point he made was, we just got to trust in each other also, because I'm tired. He said one of the first things he did was try to tell this defense, we're not going to be mediocre anymore. That you guys have this is an offensive team, that it's all offense. We're not going to settle for mediocrity. There you see Mike Archer. What happens is he wanted people, if you're going to take the A gap or jump inside, that you got to trust your teammates to come and take your spot on the outside. They did it on that play. Mediocrity is not something Mike Archer and Kentucky are going to stand for.
Big play for Mike Archer's defense here. LaForce has time, back of the end zone. Oh, just out of bounds. A great catch, but just out of bounds is J.R. Russell.
That would have been spectacular. LaForce from the gun knows who he's going to all the way, stares him down, but a good throw, just a little high. Wonderful effort by Russell. That's what happens when you're 6 feet tall. And a lot of times you got to throw over people instead of throwing through seams. Just a little high on the release. They got to settle for a field goal attempt.
Nate Smith, the 25-yarder, up and good. But flags are down on the field. We'll have to see what happens before Bobby Petrino can truly celebrate the 3 points. Running into the kicker will be the call.
LaForce going over there to the official, trying to find out exactly what the situation will be.
Illegal participation, 12 men on the defense. That penalty is declined. Running into the kicker on the defense. That penalty is declined. The field goal is good.
Well, 2 penalties.
Wouldn't have mattered with the penalty. They didn't want to take points off the board. Nice decision by Coach Petrino.
So it's now 26-10. We'll take a break and come back with more here in Lexington. 16 points, and Jared Lorenzen will have some responsibility if his club is going to get back in this game.
Well, offensive line's responsibility is to give him a chance to sit back there and throw more. They may have to put him in the gun more than they did in the first half. But even more so, you don't have to get to the point where you throw your game plan in the motor pool right now, because you still got to do 3 scores. And that's fine for a team that can explode at any minute. But that big fella right there is also, when something breaks down and he's throwing a football, he's got to get back to making sure those mechanics settle in. They worked hard on him in the offseason and in a training camp to not get lazy on stuff when it breaks down. If he keeps his mechanics, his arm is wonderful, and he'll make the plays, because we've seen how good he is with his feet at that size. But don't need to panic, though. They're a veteran quarterback. They can be fine with this.
The kick goes deep to Drake Davis, who takes a knee, and it'll be ball on the 20-yard line. Well, Labor Day weekend kickoff presented by Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield continues tomorrow at noon Eastern. Gino Guidugli and the Cincinnati Bearcats host the East Carolina Pirates. Then at 8 o'clock Eastern, top NFL quarterback prospect J.P. Losman and the Tulane Green Wave welcome the defending Conference USA champion TCU Horned Frogs to the Louisiana Superdome. Lorenzen back in. Single back behind him is Drake Davis. Down by 16 points. But still plenty of time remaining in this game, but whistles blow and we don't get it off.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense. 5-yard penalty, it's still.
Yeah, this becomes a problem that you've got to find a way to gather yourself. Veteran quarterback, make sure these guys get in the huddle, and if it takes a little chewing out, sometimes you got to do that. Every now and then sugar doesn't work. Got to grab them and say, let's play some football, because jumping off sides, I understand physical mistakes, but the mental mistakes of moving the football and moving a legal procedure are inexcusable. You've got to find a way to fix that when you're coming from behind.
That's now the third false start by UK in the contest. Lorenzen pitches it out. Davis nowhere to go. Swarmed and brought down at the 10-yard line. Montavious Stanley and Bobby LeFew combining on the tackle, and that brings a smile to defensive coordinator Mike Gilhammer. You don't notice it there, but believe me, he's smiling underneath his stern face.
He'll smile more at the end. Cross the line of scrimmage. We got the option coming out here. When you break the line of scrimmage and don't give your back anywhere to go, you keep contained, force him back inside, no shot. You see 5-6 bodies around a football. The penalty goes 1st and 15. Then you lose 5. Now it's 2nd and 20. This is a tough thing in your playbook, and that's Mike Gilhammer calling a wonderful defensive game tonight.
2nd down and 19. Ball on the 10-yard line. Lorenzen again escapes pressure, throws on the run, has a man and has a completion. Marchman with the catch and a big gain for UK. Trent Johnson finally brings them down, but not before a gain of 25.
Now, most of their plays have come on broken plays, the big plays. Once again, Lorenzen with the feet. This is how they've made their plays. Don't question if this guy could just throw from the pocket. Sit there, get a dance, and get on out here. But look at his eyes now. Nice job, little touch. Instead of trying to throw it through somebody, just a little toss out there. Give your man a chance to catch it. That's a big momentum switcher now to get it out there where you can breathe and you're not backed up to your own goal line.
First down, now ball on the 36-yard line, and Lorenzen wants more. Another deep pass. Abney has it, wrestled out of bounds, but another big chunky yardage for UK and Lorenzen. 18 yards in total.
Now, I've been begging. Take a look again. First of all, at 26, Drake Davis, and then the outside lane. I've been talking about working the outside because the corners are off so much. Great job by Davis, the 5'7" back to protect. Have a look-see here. Knocking him down, and then the outside lane. Look at all this space over here. Throw him the football until they defend it. Nice cushion. You got Davis, and we don't ever have to question Lorenzen's arm. We know what he can do. Just got to stay fundamentally sound.
Abney now with 3 catches on the day. Lorenzen again wants yards through the air. Lorenzen hit, spun, still on his feet, running out of room. The big fella, what do you have? Oh, finds a man with room to run. Thrown down is Chris Bernard, but not before Commonwealth Stadium comes alive. Another 18 yards for the Wildcats.
You could say what you want about college football players, and there's a lot of exciting ones around. But I promise you, there's no more 3 intriguing stories or players in college football than this 285-pounder. He's a pocket passer, right? He's 285 pounds and not nimble a foot. There's 1 stiff arm. 2 guys miss him. There's a 3rd. A 4th can't get to him. Little dump pass for the 5th. And a first down. That's a man who decided to say, hop on my shoulders because they're big, and I'll carry it. The statistics do not bear out how versatile this guy's been tonight and what he's had to do because he hasn't had a lot of time. That is an unbelievable job of keeping things alive. And a secondary can't cover somebody when you give them that many chances to run around. That is not on the Louisville secondary. That's just a great play by Lorenzen.
Lorenzen 63 yards through the air on this drive alone. Someone jumps across side. That's Rod Day jumps across the line of scrimmage. And the whistle blows as Lorenzen was about to be wrestled to the ground.
Prior to the snap, offside, defense with contact. 5-yard penalty, it's still first down.
Hey, Jared Lorenzen talked to us and said that he's in the best shape of his life. And at 285 pounds. For me now, as we continue to roll on, the 3rd here in the 3rd and 4th quarter, to see how the conditioning continues if he is in the best shape of his life, he'll be able to make those plays you just saw him play. He made 2 big ones on this drive. See if he can keep this thing going. Louisville's going to try to do something to keep that man out of rhythm.
Bagingi and Davis behind Lorenzen, but he wants more through the air. Nothing happening there. He overshoots his man. Abney complains that he was hit early, but the pass was probably uncatchable. Kerry Rhodes getting in his way.
Just a little pump and go, trying to make a play up the field, throwing it against 2 deep, and what 2 deep means is there's 2 safeties deep and 2 corners up, and he tried to throw it up in the hole. And that's a dangerous throw, especially when you're staring your guy down and the safety's coming over the top. Probably smart that the throw was too high, because that would have been trouble if Abney would have got his hands on it.
2nd down and 5 after the penalty on 1st down. Ball on the 23-yard line. Lorenzen hands it to the up back, and Bagingi has room right side, rumbling down inside the 5-yard line. Gain of 20 for the sophomore from Quebec, Canada. Things are working.
Eric, will somebody tell me why fullbacks don't get more love? Look at this, a little change-up pitch. They only get a couple carries a game. Gonna hit it hard and bounce. That's a nice job inside. Popping it outside. Fullbacks are pretty good. They have to do all the blocking, do the dirty work. Give them the football once in a while. Now watch, they'll give it to somebody else so they score the touchdown instead of the big man inside.
Bagingi listed at 215, looked about 240 the way he was rumbling down that sideline. Ball on the 4-yard line. Who wants it? Drake Davis, the small man, tries to go between the tackles, and Tyrone Satterfield says, not on my watch.
I'm impressed with Drake Davis's toughness. 5'7", 170 pounds, and 5'7", that may be if you stretch him a little bit.
And put a couple bricks in his back pocket.
That's exactly right. But he runs in there hard and put together well. The coaches were impressed with this junior college transfer. There you see 13 rushes, the 3.5 average. Now remember, this is his first go-round here at Kentucky.
Rich Brooks says he has no problems with the smallest running back. Had good success with a couple of them when he was at Oregon with the Ducks. Lorenzen on the option. Picks up a couple, but he'll be denied the end zone, at least for now. It'll be 3rd down and goal from the 2.
Big man's doing a little bit of everything, isn't he? And Mike Gilhammer, the defensive coordinator for Louisville. What this does, when you see the option by Kentucky, not just for this game, but the teams that got to play Kentucky down the road now, they'll just 3 or 4 options, and they'll be like, oh my gosh. They'll use 3 or 4 hours of practice time to say Kentucky runs the option. Mike Gilhammer, though, the defensive coordinator for Louisville, has done a good job calling some key plays and getting a lot of pressure on Lorenzen, but he's made plays with broken plays.
2 tight ends checking into the game. 3 backs behind Lorenzen. Lorenzen hands it off to Davis, who tries to jump over the pile, and Davis is in for 6. Drake Davis's first Kentucky touchdown.
Big Antonio Hall down here gets a nice block inside. You ought to be able to get it in behind somebody who's 300 pounds. Nice job. Now remember when this drive started. At 1st and 10, they jumped off sides, 1st and 15. Had a 5-yard loss to go 2nd and 20. And then Lorenzen made the big play scrambling out with the momentum switch, led him all the way down the field. And then another big play with the scramble, hit the out cut to Derek Abney. And take a look now. They're right back in it. We said before this drive, don't panic, stick to a game plan. That's what they've done. After this extra point try, you're talking about 2 scores, and there's plenty of time left. Great drive, some great individual efforts on that by Kentucky.
And Sean, you're talking about the great individual effort. They had the big play working to perfection that drive, 4 plays of 15 yards or more. And that's an easy way to get down the field if you consistently are able to break tackles, get open in the secondary, and just get big chunks of yards.
Especially when you make the mental error on the first play and go 1st and 15. Putting yourself in a bind. Nice job overcoming it. They were worried about how they deal with adversity. Well, they dealt with it well on this drive.
Down by 10 with 7:31 remaining. They'll just go for an extra point as opposed to going for 2. And Begley nonchalantly kicks it through with the left foot. Cats are coming back in large part because of their smallest member, Drake Davis. Another 7 points on the board for Kentucky. 26-17. Louisville up by just 9 with 7.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. We still have a 1/4 left to play, and the UK Wildcats are feeling good about themselves after really almost a perfect drive after a little bit of a stumble to begin with, but a perfect drive getting down and getting the 7 points.
Yeah, think about how that all took effect. They drop a punt, give up a safety, give it back. The other team kicks a field goal, 5 points, and then they're 1st and 15, 2nd and 20, and find a way to take it down the score.
Roger Clark with the bobble picks it up and is dumped at about the 18-yard line. That's the one thing they say he needs to work on. The hands haven't quite caught up to the feet. Andrew Hopewell brings him down. Broderick Clark will stay in the game. They're trying to really phase him in and feature him as a receiver. If those hands could just catch up to everything else he's doing.
Because he's got home run speed. Well, he's seen it with his returns. There you see Davis. Kentucky's back ought to be proud of his performance tonight because he doesn't just run it. You'll gain more respect from what he's done in the blocking part from his teammates than the running part. He's been outstanding.
First down at 10. Shelton and Kamer, the backs behind LaForge. Shelton has it. Flags fly. The Cardinals may have moved early as Shelton is swarmed and brought down. Haydock and Burns combining to bring him down, but I think the penalty flag is against Louisville as well.
You created. Get to this in a second.
Illegal shift, offense. Penalties decline, second down.
When you get a defensive line that gets across the line of scrimmage, it creates a new line. It creates a new line of scrimmage. It's tough. There you see. That's why Eric Shelton's a running back now. 106 yards makes you 104th in the NC2A. That's horrid. Tonight, we're in the middle of the third quarter, 126. That is a huge difference maker for this team because it allows you to control the ball more, but they're going to need more out of that running game tonight if they're going to continue to hold on to this.
The penalty was declined, so it'll be second down and 11. 3 wideouts at the disposal of LaForge. LaForge throws it to his tight end, and Ronnie Gent can't corral it as he is hit instantaneously by Raymond Fontaine. Sean, are you surprised that we haven't seen as much of Ronnie Gent as maybe we would have thought? He's a 3-time conference tight end of the year.
Yeah, especially with a young quarterback who's getting his first start. A lot of times when you're trying to get high percentage completions, it's a tight end that the guy and a Ronnie Gent who's been here and has been one of the mainstays of this offense. But we haven't heard his name called many times, and that's usually a crutch to lean on for quarterbacks.
3rd and 11, ball on the 17-yard line. Crowd starting to put their hands together. LaForge to the sidelines as a man pushed out of bounds, and not sure he's going to have enough. That's Broderick Clark with the catch.
Now here's a part that I'm going to tell you that I don't understand. That when you're trying to get a first down, if you're running a deep out cut, you've got to push that thing to the yard marker, because when a receiver comes out of a cut, he's got to lose ground to come back to get it. So allow yourself to push it a yard or two more to come back. Now I don't know if he got all the way. Have a look at when he's coming. They're going to measure. You got to come past it and you're coming down. So give yourself some room to push it a little more, so when you catch it, see, to me, we move that yellow line, but to me, that's not a first down. If he catches it over in here, then he's got himself a first down. There you go.
It is just short, but really no decision at all for Bobby Petrino. They will punt the football away.
You have to. See, for me, and I know the receiver's got to have that built into his head. He doesn't see the yellow line you and I see on TV, but he's still got to know that at 12 yards, let me push it to 14 and catch it at 12.5. I cannot, in those situations, with a good throw and a good route, but I didn't go deep enough. We work on that. On 3rd and 5, you don't run a 4-yard route to catch it and be tackled. You go 3rd and 8. You grab that thing for 8 yards, get tackled at 6, and move the chains.
So the punt team comes on, and Derek Abney, so dangerous, is back deep to try and field the punt of Wade Talachka.
It's the little things, Eric, that make a huge difference in the outcome of a game.
Talachka gets it cleanly and boots it away. Abney may have room to run. Picks it up on a couple of bounces and then drops it, and he'll simply have to cover the football. So no yardage at all for Abney.
Jared Lorenzen, your leader and your captain, has got to be able to find a way to do some things when nothing's there. 6-8 times it breaks down. This is the last drive. Nice soft touch, break and contain. Then the great dart throw that we know he's got to Abney on the outcut. This is unbelievable. Have a look at 75 coming into your screen, making a great block to give him a chance to throw it and free him up. That was Sly Miller, Sylvester Miller, Lorenzen. You always look to your leaders and your great players in games like this to come up with something. Lorenzen's done it tonight.
Look out, Tim Couch. Lorenzen wants to pass Tim Couch's Kentucky career record for passing yards tonight. He's already got 160. Hands it off right up the gut, and a great burst of speed to get through that hole by Arliss Beach on his first carry of the season. He rips off a 13-yarder.
That's a nice way to start for Arliss. Well,
the sophomore from Ashland, Kentucky, last year rushed for 121 yards. Waited until halfway through the third period in the opening game of the season before he touched the football for the first time. So a 1st and 10, ball in 38. Lorenzen again to the ground, and Beach again with the carry, this time not nearly as effective, but a gain of 3.
You know what's interesting, Eric? We talked about the pass protection for Kentucky has struggled some tonight. They really have. But when you look at now in the run game, you start to see them take control with Seitz and Rollins, Huff, Miller, and Hall. These guys are taking a little pride. Coming to the sidelines, getting themselves together, realizing that the way you dominate somebody in a 3rd and a 4th is to knock them out. And that's what they're trying to do here. Even though they're down, they are not deviating from being physical and changing a game plan. The guys are starting to play some football in the interior.
4 out of the 5 starters on the offensive line for the Wildcats are seniors, so experience is something they have on their side. Lorenzen will throw it for the first time on this drive, and he has a man. Open is Glenn Holt, and Holt with the catch, another first down for the Wildcats. Gain of 17 for Holt, his 2nd catch on the day.
Okay, here's the difference now. Have a look at the difference with Holt down here at the bottom, going to get to our first down marker. Nice throw by Lorenzen outside, but now there's no doubt. Look at him get beyond it. There's a first down marker. He gives himself space, and he can turn and run. That's called being aware. It's called being a football player and understanding the concept of the game and what you're trying to get done. Nice throw by Lorenzen.
Momentum is on the side of the Wildcats. They're down by 9, but they have things rolling right now. Lorenzen, quick hitter right up the gut. That's Rock Johnson, the kid from Cleveland, Ohio. Gets a couple of yards before he's dragged down by Marcus Jones. Rich Brooks trying to rally the troops. This is his first game since being out of football for 2 years. The mind's still fresh, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And Rich was the Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator, out of football a couple years, decided to come back out of retirement. He didn't know if he was going to get this job because they were serious on Bill Parcells before Bill went to Dallas, and they got themselves an experienced man who knows how to win in Rich Brooks. Been around a long time.
Lorenzen to throw. Pressured, but gets it off to Beach. Beach running on the left side. He's brought down, but not before he picks up 5 yards and makes something out of nothing.
Like I said, there's a handful of times in a game you can either give it to the other team, take a sack, or do something smart with it. Throw it away, do something. He can even throw it underhand. Don't tell me that this guy isn't as valuable to his team as anybody in college football. Have a look, see, a little underhand. Nice job of awareness. That's just being a football player. You know, that you throw out all the good mechanics and everything else. Says, hey, you know what? Do something with the football. Lorenzen does it. Unbelievable performance tonight just to keep things alive.
3rd down now. 3rd and 3. Lorenzen maybe changing the play at the line. 2 receivers out right. He'll run the option out left. Kicks it back out to Beach, and Beach with the first down. And the chains continue to move.
The option. Here's Lorenzen at 285, and he checks off at the line of scrimmage to go to the short side to run the option. Quarterback's job on this option is to challenge here. And when somebody commits to you, pitch it. There you go. Give your man a chance to go. Arliss Beach for the first down effort. That's again a quarterback. It's not so much what you do. A lot of times it's what you don't do. Don't run into a strong safety blitz. Don't run into an overload. Get him out of that play. Go to something that gives you a chance to be successful. Being aware at that position is far more important than being physically good, and Lorenzen's done it all tonight.
1st and 10. Beach remaining in the game. He'll get the ball and go right up the gut for a couple of yards. Call it 3. And Sean, well, this is something that we talked about with the Louisville coaches a couple of days ago. When they start taking a couple of punches, how will they respond?
That's exactly right. Do they stay down and grab a knee, or do they pop back up and start punching back? Kentucky took a bunch of punches and was down, and it got back up and started fighting back and got tired of it. Now, if I know this football team and Bobby Petrino and Mike and Ron and the rest of this team, excuse me, on the other side, Mike Archer, that they'll get this thing going, and have the Louisville back into it, because Archer on Kentucky side got their defense going also. Gilhammer's got that same responsibility.
Lorenzen to throw on 2nd and 7. Again, flushed out of the pocket. Lorenzen uncorks it towards the end zone. A touchdown! Keenan Burton, the true freshman, his first collegiate score. A 31-yard touchdown play. And once again, things are going all the way the Wildcats.
And there's a reason they're going the Wildcats' way. 22 is giving him a chance, but when you mention this true freshman, Keenan Burton's name, to Rich Brooks, their head coach, he said, special football player. And we haven't heard from him very much tonight. Other than the lineups, he goes down, goes and catches the ball at its highest point, which is so underrated in football. Nick comes down with a play. Lorenzen gives him a chance.
Taylor Begley will try the point after touchdown, and he makes it. And now, all of a sudden, we have a 2-point game.
Here's what Lorenzen gets to see when you're down there on the ground. Have a look at what happens. Going to come out. Lorenzen sees it. It's the secondary watching. Squares his shoulders. Have a look at Burton. Go up and get it, young fella. They're back in the game.
Has something to cheer about. They're Wildcats within 2 with 2:41 remaining in the 3rd period of play. Keenan Burton picks a great time to get his first career college catch.
Dude, if I elbow you or knock you in the teeth or something on accident, it's just because I'm pumped up. Like, I can't even pronounce my own name right. Burton with a 31-yard touchdown catch. And I mentioned about highest point. Him going up with the DB playing it, the defensive back, he went up and got it where it's supposed to. He went up and caught it high to give himself a chance. And it's used a lot, but it's not used enough by the players on the field. Underrated in making big plays.
Up by 2. The Cardinals will get the football. Roderick Clark will take it from inside the 5. Clark, no place to go. He's swarmed before he can get to the 20. Let's head back down to Heather.
Eric, even more to cheer about for Kentucky's defense. Deion Holtz, the linebacker that was out with a concussion, has been undergoing testing for the last 10 minutes. They've been quizzing him anywhere from formations to what day it is. He passed the test. They determined it's no health risk for him to return. He is going back in, and this entire sideline seems to be playing on tons of adrenaline right now.
And Heather, you make a point about the concussion. I can remember one time when I played, you got a concussion. I had our tight end get the signals from the sideline, because about a quarter and a half, I didn't remember what I was doing, but he helped me through it. He'll rely on his players to also help him through in certain situations. Great job.
LaForge, his first career start, will have to act like a veteran. The quarterback under center, spins out, wants to throw it. Has his tight end. Ronnie Gent gets the first down. That's his first catch, and he moves the chains. And you talked about that last possession. That's so key to get your tight end involved when you're a young quarterback.
You take a look at a lot of great teams and a lot of confidence builders for young quarterbacks. It comes down to this: tight end, running away from it, little play action fake, throwing back across the grain. It's a simple completion. Tight end, throw him the ball, let what might be your best receiver, if not your best football player on offense, get the ball in his hands. We've called his name twice tonight. Only one of them is a completion. They need to use him more.
LaForge again to throw. He'll have to use his feet to get out of some pressure. And oh my, he's scooting close to the first down. That's the first time we've really seen his speed, and he does have some.
Hit the hole. We've seen him get out of the pocket, make decisions to throw. He made a good, quick, decisive decision. He didn't mess around with wondering if he should throw or run. Gets out of there, gets himself positive yardage. I like the fact that Bobby Petrino, with the lead, the head coach of Louisville, continues to attack. That's been his mold in the past, and that will be his. That's the way he wants to. His mode is to go after somebody and continue to pressure. There he is in his first year as a head coach of Louisville, but he's got a wonderful background. Looks too young to have been a coach for that long, but he's got it going on, and a fiery guy that demands discipline and respect. And they're actually playing better, I'll be honest with you, than I expected them early in the season under a new regime with a new quarterback and a new coach. And I think he's done a very, very good job. And his brother Paul, the offensive coordinator, this offense got some things going on, but and doing it early as opposed to something that might happen 3 or 4 games down the line.
Bobby Petrino was here during the heyday for offense a couple of years ago for Louisville. Back in 1998, his lone season on the coaching staff for John L. Smith for the Louisville Cardinals. All they did was lead the nation in total offense and finished 5th in the entire country in scoring. So their offense that year with Chris Redmond as their quarterback was absolutely explosive, but a different style of offense this year because of a different style of quarterback in the fourth.
And good coaches find a way to adjust to their talent. You make your coaching staff, while you may call your plays, you still put your quarterback and your team in position to be successful. And I still believe that Eric Shelton's not going to go away. He's still got to be a part of this if they want to win this game.
They may try him here on 2nd and 1. Ball on the 43-yard line. LaForce gives it to the big fella, and he gets the first down easily. Gain of 4 yards for Shelton. Shelton now with 77 yards and a touchdown on the day. He's carried the ball 14 times. Look like there's any rust on Mr. Shelton to you, Sean?
No, but he's big enough that if there is, he can just kind of knock it off himself. So now there's no rust on that. Other than the fact that what you do, you wonder if a guy sees the holes like he would have beat a play. But it looks like he's picking up where he left off when he left high school.
LaForce fakes the handoff, throws, has a man, passes low, and it's in and out of the arms of J.R. Russell. J.R. Russell's arms and hands have been busy. He was the one who blocked the punt back in the first half of play that eventually led to the touchdown. The ball was jumped on by Jackerson and gave the Cardinals 7 points.
And remember, almost made that great catch in the back of the end zone that was an overthrow by LaForce in the first half. Mike Archer, the defensive coordinator for Kentucky, wanted this down and distance badly for their defense.
Under a minute to play, third quarter. LaForce fakes the handoff, takes it himself right up the gut, picks up about 4, maybe 5 yards. Brought down by Raymond Fontaine.
You know, when we talk to the players about LaForce, a lot of times when a young player comes in, he's got to earn that respect because he hasn't played. But those guys adored him. Didn't you get that sense, this way that they said, we'll rally around? One guy even had the presence of mind. He said, I just call him Vic 17, as in Mike Vick, because he's just got the guys believing him. Now, we won't go overboard and compare him to Vic yet, but he just had the 1 in front of it. And those guys respond to him, and they're really, really high on this young guy. And they respond to him, and are confident in him.
Louisville looking for their first third down conversion since the opening period. Pass is complete. And I don't think it's going to be enough for a first down. We'll have a measurement. Maybe it will. Depends on where the ball is spotted. Joshua Tinch had the catch.
They're going to give him the first down.
They're going to give it to him.
A little forward progress and motion. That was a little bit better job. A little bit better job of getting to the first down marker, although he probably could have bought himself a little more time.
That's it for the third period of play. It was an exciting third quarter. We're looking for even more excitement in the fourth. Do not change the channel, folks. 467 have seen a good 1 through 3 periods of play. The Louisville Cardinals up by 2 and looking for more. Stephon LaForce trying to answer a couple of punches. He's got his team on a good drive trying to get back in that end zone again where they haven't been for a while.
Hey, all that hour-plus delay did to these fans, let them go out and tailgate a little more and come back in and watch a good football game. Hey, this is the way it's supposed to be, a rivalry before Labor Day and a great game. Love it.
Folks, if you're just joining us, we had an 83-minute delay before the kickoff today because of nasty weather here in Lexington, Kentucky. LaForce tries to go up top and hit his tight end, Richard Owens, but the pass a little bit too strong, and it'll be a 2nd and 10. This is what we saw earlier today. The teams were warming up, and things looked like it was hunky-dory until that happened. And then the skies absolutely opened up. It looked like the field was going to be unplayable with these gusts of wind and the rain just coming down in torrents. But this is a brand new turf, and it is up to snuff. That is for darn sure.
And this is the same night, too.
Run up the gut, Lionel Gates. Good yardage on 2nd down. That'll bring up a 3rd and 5. Brought down by Muhammad Abdullah.
And I want to re-emphasize when talking to the players, and especially Louisville after last year's loss to Kentucky, and ask them about this game if they liked, when we talked to them about if they liked playing their rival this early. And the bottom line is they said, yeah, they love it because it sets the tone for the season. So you want that tone set in a positive way because you don't want to hear about it for 12 months.
3rd down and 4. LaForce to the skies, has a man. Pass is... They're going to say it is caught. Close to the first down. Will it be enough? Broderick Clark Got his hands around it before Muhammad Abdullah jumped on it. Clark now with 6 catches. The sophomore from Parker High School in Birmingham, Alabama, has been up to the task so far today.
And we saw
a first down.
No, the end cut, he's just going to go beyond that. Look at that. That's a better job. Giving him a chance. Have a look. He comes 2 yards beyond the marker, has to fight his way back, and he fights his way back, and he's still got enough for the first down. That's called getting it and understanding where things are and being aware.
1st and 10, ball on the 32. LaForce tosses it back to the horse. Shelton. Around left end, ball squirts loose, but they're going to say he was out of bounds before the ball came out. That is something we haven't seen so far today. We haven't seen a fumble change hands, and considering the wetness of the field, that's a borderline shot.
Yeah, but they've done a good job. That was the emphasis by both coaches of squeezing the football and protecting it. You know, there's been some interceptions, a couple of them, but they've held on to the football and done a nice job in this game.
Louisville has not scored a touchdown here in the second half. They had a field goal and a safety, but they have not scored a touch just yet. They'd love to get one here. They're at the 27-yard line. 2nd and 5. Another handoff, but not much doing on the right side of that line. Sean, what seemed to be the turnaround? Why did Kentucky all of a sudden get the momentum and score those 14 points?
Well, remember now, take a look at the first half. Big points there. It's all Louisville, and Kentucky's challenged. Well, in the second half, we got 14, and momentum switched. The big plays by Lorenzen, and I think the turnaround is that they overcame that safety and allowed a field goal. It held them to 5 points instead of a 9-point turnaround, and then went down and scored on the ensuing drive.
Big play. 3rd and 4. LaForce trying to run for it, and there's no room on the left side. Fontaine drops him, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
Raymond Fontaine does not want to be blocked. Going to come right across the line of scrimmage and get him in the quarterback's face. But the key is here. Fights off the block and holds on. We've seen a lot of times tonight, Louisville's defense could not hold on to Lorenzen. Nice job by Raymond Fontaine to deal with the outside with the tackle. Bam, pop it in there and make the play on LaForce.
It looks like Louisville will go for it on 4th and 3 from the 26-yard line. LaForce has room to run. LaForce gets the first down. A gritty play by a guy making his very first collegiate start. Guy hasn't started in 4 years since he was in high school.
He came into this game having only attempted 16 passes, but they say this is the strength. This is the strength. Now, everybody talks about it as a quarterback, should he slide? You want to gain respect from your teammates? I don't care about touchdown passes, although they're nice. Don't care about a lot of the other things. Here's the yellow line. Watch him fight to get through there. Takes on 4 guys to get the first down. That's a nice job by a 6-footer. Go in there and get it. Make sure you're falling forward. Great effort. So we talked about the respect that those teammates gave him. They're real fond of number 17.
LaForce listed at 200 pounds. He is not 200 pounds, maybe 185, but it's a real gut check to get over that line and get the first down. 1st and 10, ball in 22.
You got single coverage out here now. Single coverage.
Handoff goes to Shelton. Shelton running around right end, shakes the tackle into the end zone. Touchdown for Shelton, a 22-yarder, his 2nd of the game.
Missing tackles becomes a big problem. Shelton, 22-yard run. Get across the line. Play should be over here. Nice job of dipping outside. You can't miss that tackle. It's a good effort, great hard running, but Abdullah, who normally is a pretty sure tackler, lets him skate through it. And that's what happens when you try to deal with the guy who's 6'3", 245 pounds. Nice effort by Shelton.
Up by 8, now up by 9. Nate Smith the extra point. And Shelton comes back to his hometown of Lexington, Kentucky, and playing for his new team. He is shining underneath the lights at Commonwealth Stadium. 33-24, Louisville on top. A battle for the Governor's Cup in Louisville because of that man is back up, this time by 9. Eric Shelton. A 22-yard scamper around right end for the score, capping a 14-play, 81-yard drive. Almost 6 minutes of clock time was churned out.
You think the running game's important? Last year, 104th in the NCAA. Have a look at this. 106 yards. He matched him. And 2 touchdowns. Welcome to your first start in college football. And his first start at Louisville also. Good for him. But what a difference being able to run the ball with a young quarterback makes. And he's answered it tonight.
Ball goes out of bounds before it can get to Abney. So a break for the Kentucky Wildcats. So they'll begin their drive further up because the ball goes out of bounds.
Free kick out of bounds on the kicking team. The ball will be placed 30 yards from the spot of the kick. First down.
So Lorenzen will come onto the field with good field position, and it's going to be very crucial to see if he can improve, Sean, on the numbers, fourth quarter-wise, that he's really struggled with over the years.
And it's not so much the numbers as far as 49 TDs to 21 because there's a lot more quarters. It's the fourth quarter, the efficiency. There's too much. They're too close in numbers, the interceptions and the touchdowns, and when the passing percentage goes down by 5, you've got to make up for that because that's a difference in 6 and 5 and 9 and 2, 9 and 3.
Lorenzen with the fake, has the ball, open space, wants to run it, runs out of bounds. Let's go down to Heather.
Jared Lorenzen's struggle with conditioning can be summed up with the story of just one day this spring in Jared's first ever workout with the new coaching staff. He went through a team drill. It was 8 stations for 5 minutes, so essentially a 40-minute workout. Well, at the conclusion, Jared had lost 13 pounds, and he threw up 3 times. Not quite the welcome to the Brooks era that Jared was hoping for.
How do you like to make that kind of impression on your new coaching staff?
Well, he got down to 266 in the spring, gained some of it back, and is now at 285. We got the change now. Here's Boyd at quarterback with Lorenzen split out to the right.
Boyd hands it off inside. Bagingi finds the going tough. Doesn't get much. It'll bring up a very important 3rd down.
And Heather made the point of him losing 13 pounds. That's hard to do in a 40-minute drill. And then Mike Archer, the defensive coordinator, comes walking out, and Jared's spread on the ground. And he says, I just want to introduce myself. I'm new defensive coordinator. Mike Archer goes, I know who you are. But he took it serious and got himself to the point that there's Mike Archer, the defensive coordinator. We talked about the mediocrity. He doesn't want it on Kentucky, and they've come around. But Lorenzen took it serious and has bought in to what the head coach, Rich Brooks, is teaching, and he wants him to get down and wait.
Lorenzen back in. Wants to throw it on 3rd and 3. Buys time, finds a man. Open with room to run until the old side trips up Bagingi. Bagingi thinking about making a move, and all of a sudden he just grabbed and brought down by the side. Gain of 19, though.
Eric, we talk about vision for running backs and vision for quarterbacks. Here's a guy that's just aware, knows where the check down is. He goes to his left, 1, not there. We're going to come to the right, the camera right, 2, come back, 3, 4. Find Bagingi for a 1st down, keeping the play alive. How many times we said that tonight for number 22?
Lorenzen hands it off right up the gut. Bagingi running hard. Finally brought down by McCune. Gain of 7. Starting to see more of Bagingi and not as much of Drake Davis.
Yeah, you know what? But Davis has had a very good night. He's blocked well. And the thing I like is I see a lot of change-up pitch. And here's Shane Boyd coming into the game again, number 7, running back, wide receiver, quarterback. You wonder why they're putting him at quarterback? Because it's a change-up pitch, different formation. You want to give Louisville a different look. Plus, he's the best athlete on their team. They want him on the field, not on the sidelines, holding the clipboard.
Lorenzen will throw it. Lorenzen under pressure finds a man. It's Bagingi again. Close to the 1st down, gain of 3. And it'll be close to the 1st down.
One thing Lorenzen told us about Boyd, because I as a 2-quarterback system, I used to say, if you're going to run that, you hate it as a quarterback. Lorenzen welcomes it because he says, I want that athlete on the field. Going to come across. But have a look. One thing he said, when I come to the line of scrimmage, Lorenzen said, Boyd will tell me where to throw it sometimes. Have a look at where he's pointing. Points, throw the ball over there, get us ourselves move the chains, get it close to a 1st down. Once again, different angle. Boyd's there sitting down also. You saw him direct traffic. That's just having another quarterback on the field who understands being unselfish, understands what to do with it. Lorenzen and Boyd get along very well. They bought into the concept that a 2-quarterback change-up pitch is okay. There's no doubt about it. In the fourth quarter with 3 minutes to go, Lorenzen's going to be under center when you need to win a game. But this kid's bright, he's athletic, he's big, and he's got a great future ahead of him. And he could play 3 different positions. Plus, he's your personal protector on the punt, which is saying something for a guy that athletic.
They're just short of first down distance, so we'll have to go for it. They have had a lot of success on third downs so far this evening. This time Lorenzen tries to go right over his guard, and I think he's going to get it.
He is going to get it. Now there's the difference. 3rd and a couple inches for first down. Quarterback sneak at 285. You remember early in the game on 4th down, they were 4th and about 1 3/4, 2 yards. They went for a quarterback sneak. That's just too much to make up for quarterbacks who actually don't really like to run a quarterback sneak. But that's too far. This one's short yardage. The line pushes. You know what you're going to do. You can move it 6 to 8 inches.
That's the 4th straight third down conversion.
What are they, 8 of 13 now tonight? Was it 7 of 12 before that? 8 of 13. If you get to 50% on third down conversion, you're pretty doggone good near the top.
3 wide receivers for Lorenzen. Drops back to pass. Someone comes unblocked. Maybe by design. Catch is made. Holt with room to run and close to a first down. Gain of 8 yards on first down. It'll be 2nd and 2. It was McCune with the pressure.
Now Holt's basically their 3rd receiver. We know Abney and Keenan Burton, the true freshman, start. That's just that little screen underneath. Receiver screen comes back underneath. And you see Glenn Holt now. I think he's got 3 catches for 33 yards and a touchdown tonight coming off the bench. That's how you respond and answer the call.
Holt with 4 catches all of 2002. With 1 more catch, he'll match his total from last season. Lorenzen running the option. Has Davis behind him. Pitches it out. Davis runs out of room. It'll be 3rd and short.
It's a good job by Louisville to string out the option. That's what you want to do. They allow the quarterback. You're either going to hit the quarterback in the mouth while he's running it, or put him in a position where he doesn't know whether to pitch it or keep it. They keep giving ground, just stretching it. Lorenzen, do I pitch it? Do I hold it? Do I pitch it? Hesitation in the option. Nice job of contain. Excellent work by Stanley and Louisville's defense in stringing things out towards the sideline and getting to the short side of the field. Tough to run the option over there.
Some of those DBs, when Lorenzen was going down that line,
that's probably why they're hesitant. They want no part of that big fella.
They were hoping he would pitch the ball. 3rd down and 3. The Wildcats don't like what they see. Lorenzen, the 4-year starter, calls timeout and wants to make sure that everyone's on the same page. The timeout is called. We'll take timeout with them. Back in a moment. Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky is our venue for the Battle of the Governor's Cup. Eric Collins, Sean Salisbury, and Heather Cox, your broadcast team, bringing you the first game in the Bluegrass State all season long.
You know what?
Louisville Cardinals on top of the Kentucky Wildcats 33-24. A lot of offense early on for the Cardinals, but now the Wildcats storming back. A big 3rd down, 3rd and 3, ball on the 20-yard line. Lorenzen thinking about it, faking it. Buying time, Lorenzen airs it out and puts it in the wrong man's hands. Picked off by Minkins. The captain cornerback picks off the ball. His 3rd pickoff of his career, his 1st of the season. And that is not what Lorenzen wanted to do, Sean.
Yeah, no, it isn't. And they tried to get it out quick. He held it. He's been doing it all night, making play. Here's Boyd. They're going to blanket him inside to make sure that the inside slot does not get a shot. Squeezing him in and out here, all over him, trying to make. You think they're concerned about him coming open for a second. Great coverage, and Jared just forces it. That's the point where a veteran throw it out of bounds. He knows that. That's a mistake. Do not take points off the board. You need a field goal and a touchdown anyway. Throw that thing into the upper deck. Don't force it into Minkins' hands. Bad decision by Lorenzen. Hasn't made many of them tonight. That was one of them, and that was huge.
Well, on a stormy night here in Lexington, a possible silver lining to this dark cloud for Kentucky is at least the ball is inside the 10-yard line to begin the drive, but not for long as Shelton punches it out for about a 4, maybe 5-yard gain.
And we talk about the defensive backs of Louisville and that they were going to be tested this year. And their main veteran, Josh Minkins, there he is right there from New Jersey. He's a senior. He was looking forward to this. He said, you know, the coaching staff came in and said, you know, no jewelry, no, you know, hair on the face. He said, well, I get shaving bumps, so I can keep hair on my face. But he's a senior. But he said, you know, we may not like some of the things that happened when the new staff came in, but we respect it, and it's their team. We're just out here to play, and he's the one who stressed the fact that this game set the tone for the entire season. Big play by your senior, coming up huge and trying to force it in. Number 5, Josh Minkins, long
Shelton
way from
out.
home.
Gates in the game as the tailback. Throw is made and caught. That's the tight end, Richard Owens, on the receiving end of that LaFour's pass. And it'll be a first down. That's a huge first down to get it out of the shadow of your own goalpost, particularly this late in the game.
Yes, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, we got a 10-point lead. We just turned it over. All we got to do now, you try to use up as much clock as possible and see if we can get a couple first downs. If we have to punt, fine. But he made a nice throw, bodied him with the ball, made it easy for him to catch, and LaFour's has done a really good job of remaining poised the entire time.
The junior from Baton Rouge hands it off. And not much gain at all. Heather standing by. Heather.
I am standing by with Stefan LaFour's wife. They were married in May. And Joy, you have spent more time with Stefan in preparation for this game than anyone. Have you seen any signs of nerves or excitement as he got prepared for his first start?
Not at all. The only thing I did notice is I couldn't ask him if he was nervous about the game. I wanted to say, are you excited? Other than that, no. He just pretty much, when he come home from practice or whatever, he played PlayStation 2 or just kind of zone out, you know, just relax. He really didn't show any signs of nerves.
Now, Stefan told me that you are a true student of the game. How would you grade his first start?
Well, I'd say an A because he's been doing really good on running, actually, for first downs, and they've been doing really well. Throwing, he's been passing really well, so I'd say an A.
It's easy to judge that one, huh? Not only a student of the game, but she bakes cookies for the team as well. I think Joy's a keeper, guys.
Like I said earlier, yeah, Stefan obviously married over his head the good cookies, and she's, you know, talking about him and saying that he's an A, and I agree with her. And a wife's supposed to say that about her husband, but he has. To come into a game like this on the road, 70,000 people, your first start, when you've only pitched the ball 16 times in your career, doggone it, the wife ought to say it's an A, and he's done a good job, and I'm sure he'll come out of this game and thank her for all the support, because it's not easy being a college student, playing quarterback in a big-time program, and also coming out here, going on the road and getting grades and doing all the things. Good for Stefan. It's been a fun time to watch him tonight.
Big 3rd and 1. LaFour's hands off to Shelton, and Shelton bangs his way forward for 4 more yards. But probably even more important than just the 4 yards, it's a first down, and the clock continues to tick down.
Clock moves, and they keep going. Last year, first of all, take a look at Shelton hitting it inside. He's going to come in here. We're going to push for a first down, get a little movement by the offensive line, little off tackle, guard gut play, falling forward. Done a good job. Last year, this football team, when I covered this game, had no offensive line, could not run the football. This year, they can run the football, they can protect the passer.
Put the phone down. Yeah, you. Now try again. And this time, dial 1-800-COLLECT. It's easy. Just put the 1-800 before collect. A man of few words. 1-800-COLLECT. Save $1 or $2.
Now on DVD and VHS, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. 2 discs loaded with special features.
Let them come.
What is carried by one is now sought by all. The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Now available.
Thursday on a special edition of NFL Countdown, our team weighs in on the 2003 season.
They're working on the next Super Bowl, back to back. It ain't gonna happen.
Plus a preview of the Jets-Redskins on ABC. NFL Countdown, Thursday at 7 on ESPN.
Listen up!
Critics call playmakers powerfully addictive.
I will snap you at the knees.
Incredibly stark and uncompromising.
Cheated!
Searingly unflinching.
It's the best 60 minutes of the year.
Playmakers, Tuesday, 9 p.m. on ESPN.
An impressive drive continues for the Louisville Cardinals. They're up by 9, 5:39 remaining. They're just trying to eat up some clock, and they're doing a good job. They've already picked up a couple of first downs, in the running game led by Shelton keeps on keeping on.
We've heard about a 2-minute drill in football many a times. But what we don't hear enough about is that 4-minute drill. And it's at 5:30 to go in this game. You start to push it. 4-minute drill is control the clock, run the football, don't turn it over, and get first downs.
This time, LaForce wants a big chunk of yards, and he gets it. Pass is caught by Russell. And a little bit of a surprise, Sean. They went for the jugular as opposed to methodically moving it down the field.
Well, you get LaForce out on the perimeter. You've seen it a lot tonight. A little bootleg play to get him out. We're going to boot it out. But you know what? If the first man shows, throw him the football. Isn't this just as high a percentage as throwing it to a guy 4 yards down the field? If he's open, you got man coverage, throw it. LaForce, you're always taught to look deep first as a quarterback and then come down underneath. And if the first guy shows and you're not going to throw it into the defensive arms, throw him the football. Be attack force and go after him. And LaForce did that. I like that.
Gain of 34, ball all the way down on the 30-yard line. Shelton back in the game, has the football, trying to add to his total. He's already way over 100 yards. He had 125 before that carry and 2 touchdowns. He has been an absolute horse.
And you know, you want to get a horse big enough to ride him, but trust me, that body's big enough to hop on and go. He's done a wonderful job, and he's been physical. 26.3 is impressive yards a carry. He was so fired up and so focused for this game. He's going to have a lot of fun talking to do because he doesn't talk much before it. He'll be excited after this one. It's been a great performance by him, and now they can run the ball again at Louisville.
Another timeout has been called. The Wildcats have no more timeouts remaining. And with this timeout, time to talk maybe a little about something that's a little bit surprising. We didn't know how Louisville would react. Remember how their season ended a year ago? It was difficult times. Their head coach was John L. Smith, and, well, they had a real difficult time during their bowl game, the GMAC Bowl. Word got out that he was going to leave to go to Michigan State. They found out about it. There was a lot of dissension. And so in the offseason, there was a lot of guys wondering how they would react come their first game of the season here in 2003.
And John L's a good football coach, but there you see, man, Satterfield, Tyrone, these are some of the guys that we talked to and offended by, there's Minkins, offended by kind of what happened. They like John L. But when you're on the sidelines during a game, Ronnie Gent was hurt during that bowl game, and you got a buddy from home calling you on a cell phone because you're not in uniform saying, did you hear? Did you hear what? Did you hear coach is leaving? That's not the way you find out. And John L., I know, went back and talked to him and said, guys, I'm sorry it leaked out. But I always believe, I don't give a hoot how much money you're getting paid. You have a responsibility to these young men who you recruited to go and tell them first and hope that they can keep the secret, not us in the media, because they deserve to know when you got your head coach who's almost like a second father to you doing that. John L. went on, and people, and he even said, Minkins even said, I understand guy going on to get his money, and that's understandable. But the other side of that is, I don't buy into the fact that players are supposed to find out second, because you didn't tell them that when you're going in to recruit them. And there you see the man who's taken over, Bobby Petrino, push that aside, has a lot of respect for John L., as we all do. But the players were burned by that, and they were bothered by it. And I think they had a bone to pick, and they're moving on.
Offense, 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
Well, that's not what Bobby Petrino wanted to happen. Trying to just milk that clock with under 5 minutes remaining. They get a holding call. And now that'll push them back. And it'll be second down and long. Yeah, just a real testament, a real feather in the cap of these Cardinals. Well, they did. The fact that they could come back and deal with what happened last year, put it behind them, and just say this is a new year and let's get something done and build.
Yeah, and remember when it happened that bowl game, like you said, then you got to deal with it all off season and deal with the hurt and feel like you're a little bit betrayed. And they've responded well.
Second and 16, they draw. They run it right up the gut, and Shelton, a huge gain, close to the first down.
Louisville had a plan in mind tonight. It was to get LaForce out, let him use his athleticism, not turn it over with the quarterback. He's thrown an interception, but protected the ball. They also had a plan to run the football, pound a big fella Shelton, and when it got to the middle of the third, fourth quarter, to hopefully be physical enough to wear a team out. They've done that tonight, and it looks now, as they continue to run the football, that they can start to grind this clock out. It is not over yet, but when you got Shelton carrying it now, as he's pushing that 150-yard mark, you got yourself a horse that they haven't had here in a couple years.
Wonder who gets the ball. It's 3rd and 1. Roderick Clark in motion. LaForce gives it to the horse, and Shelton picks up another first down, and we're underneath 4 minutes to play. And that just may do it for the Wildcats of Kentucky.
And you look at Shelton, who was a big-time player coming out of high school, goes to Florida State. and ends up transferring because he wasn't playing, come back home, but didn't stay at Kentucky, goes to Louisville and plays for them. But he's as good as advertised. Here's a guy that, you know, everybody thought was a star coming out of high school, 6.5 yards a carry coming out of his redshirt year. He, if you think this is the last time you're going to see him carry it 20 to 30 times, get in line, pal, because it's not going to be that way. He's going to carry it all season long.
1st and 10, and again, Shelton with the carry, just trying to stay in bounds. He does, gets it down close to the 15-yard line. As Shelton didn't get any playing time, he was a freshman playing behind some pretty darn good running backs, and Greg Jones, who's still down there, coming back from a knee injury this year with a strong game yesterday for Bobby Bowden, and Nick Maddox.
I'd say so, and he put a doggone forearm on somebody in that game yesterday, Greg Jones, and hurt him. Here's Eric Shelton. Got him started early, and I think with a back like that, you get him going right now, get rid of the nerves since he hasn't played, get him used to working with this offensive line in a game condition, game situation. There you see him breaking that tackle. Scored twice tonight, and backs that have that kind of size and that are between the tackles type of guys get far better when you get them in to 20 to 25 carry range than they are at 10 carries, because they get better and stronger as it goes on, and they're physically fit more than the guys they play against most of the time.
Shelton again with another carry, and this time he's wrapped up by about 4, maybe 5 tackles. Trey Melch leading the charge for the Wildcats. And it'll bring up 3rd down and call it 5. Coming up on the 2-minute mark in this game. Louisville up by 9, feeling very good about themselves.
I think you got to give both coaches a lot of credit. Bobby Petrino in Louisville and Rich Brooks. Both of them battled back in this game and their teams to respond to them. Kentucky's in good hands. There's Rich Brooks. Great experience, wonderful staff. And Bobby Petrino also. Both these teams are in good hands now with these new coaches.
3rd down, 5 yards to go for a 1st down. LaForce again hands it to his new best friend. I apologize, that's Lionel Gates. He's still pretty close. He's had a good game as well. He's not the 151 yards of Mr. Shelton.
His new best friend might be over there getting some oxygen after tonight's game, and a well-deserved pat on the back.
4th down, and it looks like they're going to go for it, John.
No question they should. Why not? You run the clock down a little more. Hand it off. Now this team's got to go the distance, you know, a field goal and a touchdown the other way. Kentucky does if they get the ball back here, but I like this. Bobby Petrino, their head coach, has been extremely aggressive a lot of times tonight, and that's his background. That makes players happy.
This has been a 12-play, 79-yard drive. They've almost had 8 minutes of clock run off, and Shelton, I apologize, folks. I keep wanting to say it's Shelton. He's got over 150 yards, but it's Lionel Gates on the carry, and he's close to another score. And
Lionel Gates did a nice job as a change-up back tonight, and it's fairly obvious at this point in the game that Louisville's, they're far more physical right now.
Gates with 73 yards on his ledger, so he's had a day. Combined, the 2 main runners for the Cardinals over 220 yards.
And they averaged $106 last year. So
they doubled their pleasure from last year.
There's a little bit of discipline and a little bit of commitment going on that sideline of Louisville.
Did Louisville call timeout? Yes, they did. 13 seconds remaining in this game, and now they got timeouts. You might as well use them. You can't take them home with you.
Louisville is there first.
LaForce calls timeout and goes to talk things over with Petrino. And we will take a timeout. We will come back with the final 13 seconds in a moment. 13 ticks left on the clock, and we've had a good game. Here's the storyline in case you missed some of it. Eric Shelton in his very first game with the Louisville Cardinals, all he did was rush for 151 yards and 2 scores. Stephon LaForce, he was solid. His very first career start, 181 yards through the air, a lot of daring do with the feet as well. He scored a touchdown. And Jared Lorenzen, well, the big fella got it done, but just not when he needed to get it done. 4th quarter, 5 minutes left. He throws an interception that really kind of killed the hopes of the Wildcats and their fans.
And Seiko giving us that storyline, and we appreciate that. And there were some good stories in this game throughout the entire evening. It was a great one to watch.
Lionel Gates gets the ball, goes around left end, and Lionel Gates Does he get in? Yes, he does. A touchdown with 6 seconds remaining. A little bit of a surprise.
Part of me thought they'd take a knee.
They went for the end zone, but
I would imagine that they'll remember that. They got to play
game,
next
you don't
year.
forget something like that.
And I understand when you're a team and you've got some backups in the game, you want to give them a chance to run and score. But I think for future reference, taking a knee might have been the wise thing to do there, because coaches have long memories, as do players.
Rich Brooks coaching in his first Governor's Cup game. He just found out exactly what it entails.
And that means nothing about the job that either coach did, because they did a good job. But part of me says take a knee and let's go home. But they score again. It's 40-24 now. And there's been some interesting storylines. You talked about that in the Seika storyline. And you know what's interesting is that last year in watching Louisville and in the past, they've always been a quarterback school. It looks to me they got a big body to lean on. You'll see that trend. We saw Lorenzen. I thought he was sensational tonight, even though 236 yards, but how he bought time, the costly interception. But, man, do they have themselves a leader and a guy who can do a lot. And then finally, LaForce. He was supposed to be efficient. That's all they wanted. He gave it to him.
Well, he just gave us a thumbnail sketch of everything we just saw. Let's see it in video form. Some of the highlights from today's game. And, well, it began on the ground, the soggy ground, after an 83-minute rain delay before this game started. Shelton plunges over for a touchdown, and then the special teams just falls apart for the Wildcats. The punt block for a touchdown, but then back comes Kentucky. The Wildcats get a score. Drake Davis punches it in, and then Jared Lorenzen, the big fella with the nimble feet, hits the true freshman Keenan Burton. But then once again, the running game of Eric Shelton and the Cardinals just simply too much. The deciding factor in the game was the power running game by that man playing in his very first game for the Cardinals. And because of that performance, that cup will be taken out of the hands of the folks from Kentucky and will be given back to the Louisville Cardinals.
How much that thing weigh?
33 pounds. Thank you for asking. Bobby Petrino just felt his first Gatorade shower on the sidelines. Must feel good. And that's going to do it for the 2003 version of the Governor's Cup. Louisville has now won 3 consecutive Governor's Cup games here in Lexington. So they own Commonwealth Stadium lately.
You've seen some things to build on. Louisville came in here. I don't know if many people gave them a huge chance, but in a rivalry game, you always get a chance. And he did. Bobby Petrino did a good job. They'll run the football. They showed they're more physical than people expected. In Kentucky, Jared Lorenzen got a chance, but this team's got to respond from this now and deal with the adversity in their next game.
Now, Sean, it was a long night because of the
great night, though.
But
thank you.
Really enjoyed it. Congratulations go to the Louisville Cardinals. They defeat the Kentucky Wildcats by a score of 40-24. Coming up next, NHRA drag racing from Indianapolis. For the complete wrap-up on this game and all of today's action, turn to ESPN News for highlights and scores. For Sean Salisbury, Heather Cox, and the rest of our crew, I'm Eric Collins saying so long from Lexington, Kentucky. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Hello, everybody.